Go ahead.
All right. Where last we left off, you guys had managed to venture down into the hidden location of this grand vault hidden within the city of Waterdeep. Upon the way out, having this dwarven ally accompany you, you were accosted by some dark elves. The man behind them, Jarlaxle Henry, was revealed to be the mastermind behind the entire sequence of events that allowed you to kind of follow your way through the city of Waterdeep and eventually stumble across the uh, the Stone of Galore, which led you to uh, this gold mine, as it were. You were also accosted by a dark elven character that Treverin seemed to be at least partially familiar with, named Isn't Mizram. However, he managed to get away alongside your Laxel. You also found out that your dwarven ally was actually a gold dragon in disguise who helped fight off the drow attackers. You made your way back to the real Lariel Silverhand, the head of the city of Waterdeep, who thanked you profusely for returning the gold to the city and allowed you to keep a 50,000 gold stipend, which you have used to significantly touch up your tavern within the city. During the course of this, however, your warlock companion had fainted, and during this fainting, Kay, you found that your warlock patron was not especially happy with you for allowing your cleric to die in that dungeon, and demanded that you make your way to the mountain from which your dwarven compatriot, your still living one, had found this where this crystal had come from. Your dwarven compatriot refused to take you there. So instead, you went to Julie, who was also familiar with the mountain and has accepted taking you to its location. You got for yourself some horses as well as a wagon, and have begun making your way up there. Over the course of this, you're about half a day's travel south from a small hamlet called Red Larch within the Somber Hills, when all of a sudden, along the road, you are attacked by a warband of orcs. The leader of the orcs, a large man that Julie you recognize as Glimsh, who is a close friend of Thodrock, cries out in vengeance for his name as they push towards you. As you are getting ready to defend yourselves against this orcish ambush, I need everyone to roll initiative.
I can't wait to stab some fools.
I bet I didn't have myself clicked on. Nope, I didn't.
I didn't either. I rolled a 3.
Okay.
I was a 5.
So 5 for Singe, 3 for Dreloff.
I forgot. Is this the last travel node before we hit
Red Larch.
next town?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I'm assuming that's correct then. All right. Glimsh will go first. The first thing he does is he can pull forward a few feet and pull out a holy symbol of Grumsh. And you watch as pull out the token here just to represent it. You watch as the spiritual form of a spear hovers right over the horse pulling the cart. We're going to use this blue circle to represent it. So,
can I cast something as a reaction to that?
What are you going to cast?
Sanctuary on the horse.
Link the spell.
Sure, hold on. 1 second.
Kill my damn horse.
Excuse me. It's a bonus, not an action, not a reaction. So unfortunately, I'm going to say no.
Okay.
So
well, I have to ask: is he casting a spell when he's doing this?
Yes, he is casting spiritual weapon. Let me turn that
Not
description
anymore.
on.
He's not.
Oh yeah. Okay. So he attempts to conjure this spell, this spiritual weapon, and as you see this happening, especially as it conjures right next to the horse that's pulling the cart, okay, you're like, nope, and you immediately go to counterspell. So that fades. He curses in Orcish and just pulls out a regular spear and is going to attempt to chuck it at the horse instead.
I'm gonna have to ask him not. Appreciate it.
Crit miss.
Wait, can he cast the spell and attack in the same round?
Yep. Spiritual Weapon is one of the most broken cleric spells in the game. It is a bonus weapon to cast it, and when you cast a spell, you can make an attack, and
Okay.
that doesn't take his action for the turn. So
Well, see, I knew,
he tries to conjure.
I
Go
knew
ahead.
that. I kind of knew that, but I was just, for some reason, I was thinking I've only used it once now, so it would take me some getting used to. But fair enough.
Yeah,
I
it's
gotcha.
super OP.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Just
So
clarification.
he attempts to conjure the spell, and it just kind of fades as it is completely countered by K. So he goes to reach back towards the spear in his back, and it's kind of like this comical moment where it just gets stuck, and he kind of reaches back with both hands, and he can't get it out. Thoroughly embarrassed by their leader, the orcs instead will make their move. 2 of them are going to charge over in Treveran's direction. 2 of them are going to attempt to ram the cart. 2 from this direction are going to attempt to ram the cart over in Julie's direction. And these 2 are going to push towards K. So, starting with the 4 that make their way over towards the cart, they combined are going to attempt to topple it over.
Question.
Yes.
They're going to try to topple it over.
Yep.
They're orcs.
Yep.
I hate to question the orcs' intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
However, are they both pushing or are they both pulling? Both sides.
That's a good question.
They are both pushing. So all they are doing is they take their axe and they just push against the cart on both sides.
Well, at first I was like, but they're a raiding party. They'd have to have done this before, right? And then I was like, but they're orcs. Like,
But they're orcs. Julie, you see this and you realize, yeah, this is about what I remember.
This is why you lost the war.
So, by extension, the 2 orcs against K and 2 orcs against Treveran are just going to pull out some great axes, and they're going to make respective swings at you. So, 2 attacks against K.
Miss.
19 and 21.
That'll hit.
All right. As one of the attacks manages to cut you near the leg, you take 7 points of slashing damage. Treveran, 2 attacks against you. 24 and 15.
Yep, both hit because I don't have my mage armor on yet.
All right. 4 and 12 for a total of 16 points of damage.
Okay.
At the end of their turn, it's K.
So, I just want clarification for this spell before I use it. For Hunger of Hadar, I know I can summon it. Are my allies protected inside of the thing?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Any creature that starts its turn in the area. The Great Old One and their related spells typically don't care about who gets hit.
Gotcha. Well, then I'll tell you what. I will hex this guy. Oops, I just meant to show I was casting it, but that works.
Does anybody
Okay.
else feel like Killy really wanted to get some mounted combat in this time around?
Speaking of which, K, I need you to make an animal handling check as the orcs rush your horse. Okay. He's a little spooked, but you managed to keep him steady.
But I'm going to hex him and reduce his strength.
Okay. He's hexed.
And then I'm going to smack him.
Go for it. All right. The 23 and the 14 will both hit.
Sweet. There's that. There's that. You can just take the 3 for the first hex, and here's another one.
Okay, so 6 and 7 as follow-up. And 10. All right. As the shadow tendrils begin to kind of dance off the blade as you cut into the orc's flesh, you watch as the coagulated blood near the wound that you caused near its neck begin to just kind of cause these tendrils to warp in, and it seems like the flesh begins to just kind of rot away. As he clutches up, dropping the axe near his neck, he staggers back a little bit and collapses on the ground, gagging. That one's out.
Sounds like a plan. That's it.
All right. Julie, you're up. You watch as these 2 sets of orcs just go pushing against the cart.
Julie's going to attack the one who's pushing against the cart.
Go for it. All right, taking out your great sword, you take it up on high and just stab down. Go ahead and roll damage. All right.
Wait,
The first.
did it re-roll that one?
Let's see, 2, 1, 1, and 5.
Yeah, I
It,
guess
did,
it did.
it didn't reroll on my screen.
It didn't re-roll, but I guess it did. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. Here's what gets me. Yeah, because you rolled a 2 and a 1, so it re-rolled. And you got a 1 and a 5 as a follow-up, which would have kept. So 6 plus 4, 10 points of damage. That's correct.
Okay.
Yep, did it right. All right, so the first strike you get in, you watch the work, kind of stumbles back, grabbing near where your sword just kind of cut across the chest.
And then
Yep.
I'm going to attack his buddy with a second stroke.
All right. $25, roll damage. All right. He also gets cut pretty bad and begins to kind of stagger back, realizing, you know what, this idea of pushing the cart over is not really going to work too well from both sides. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I'm good.
You're done? Okay. All right. Sind, you're up next.
Assuming I'm on top of the cart, I have a quick question. If I were to
Shoot.
move from here to here, do I take an attack of opportunity from this guy?
Nope.
Okay. All right. So I'm actually going to attack him once with my warhammer. I am equipped with a shield, so I'm going to swing once. And
All right. 11 misses.
okay, and because I am a war priest, I am going to. What am I looking at here?
I think it's a bonus action to attack again. I don't
It is.
remember if it's channeled ability or not. I don't think it is, but
No. It's. Hold on. I'll find it. I'm looking for it right now. Where did you go? It's not the breath weapon I want. Times equal. Yeah. War priest. So, here. I'll just link it just for the hell of it. So
there you go.
I'm going to try to bonus action attack again.
24 hits, and you're attacking the northmost one, correct?
Yes.
Go ahead and roll damage. All right. Imbued with the War God's blessing, you take your hammer and swing down a second time with a quick fury, and you manage to strike that particular orc across the neck. You watch as a few bits of teeth go flying off against the road. All right, you done for your turn, or have you got anything else?
No, I'm pretty much good for that turn.
All right, Treverin, you're up next.
Okay. So, our little buddy right here. What I am going to do is I'm going to cast this around him, telling the earth to suck him down into it, and where he only has his head sticking out of the earth.
Okay.
And then as my bonus action,
All right, I'll say that area becomes difficult terrain then.
that's fine. Then as my bonus action, I'm going to use this to bamp off the horse to right here and make these guys charmed.
Okay, so they have to make wisdom saves, as I recall. Yep.
That's correct.
Okay, first one. 19. Second one. 10. All right, southernmost one is charmed by you.
Okay, and I tell him to attack his leader.
Okay. I'll assume that you're done for your turn.
Yep.
One thing before you end your turn, go ahead and make an animal handling check.
Okay. Oh, I didn't mean to do that with advantage.
Okay.
I don't know
I'll
how
count
I
to
had that
13, you're
toggled.
fine. All
Yep.
right. Okay, at the 13, you're fine. Draloff, I need you to make an animal handling check since you're driving the cart.
I think he just stepped away.
He did
Uh,
say.
I'm wait-
Okay.
All right, the animals are fine. They're startled a little bit, but you're able to. You've traveled with them a few days. They feel comfortable in your presence. Draloff, what do you do?
I'm gonna smack the one that Sin.
Okay.
Where is-
Dropping the reins next to you, you pull out your battle axe and go in for the swing. That hits. Go ahead and roll damage. All right. Pulling out the battle axe in one swift motion, having a natural hatred of orcs, you just cleave that one's head off, and you watch as the rest of the body just flops back against the dirt. What else are you doing?
Oh, that's it for me. Sorry.
That's it. You
Yeah,
can
you
move to
bet.
the other side and attack the other one with a second attack.
So doesn't he get 2 swings? Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
Yep,
know I can.
yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
To be fair, you rolled a natural 20 on the animal handling. You could have just said, "Hey horse, hang out a second," and
Yo, bro, chill for a minute. Mr. Red goes, okay, mister. All right, 19 hits, 6 points of damage against him. You come in, you got a little bit of red in your eyes, but you're holding back the rage just yet, and you manage to just cleave off another orc's head.
That's it for my turn.
Okay. Crawling his way out of the molded earth, spending about half his movement to do so, you hear Galims cry out, Julie! You've trapped us under the... You have trapped us with your arrogance by slaying Throdrock. It was our only chance of freeing ourselves. If I cannot be free of him, I will be his champion with your head! And he is going to crawl out, moving over here, because that's about as far as he can go. He's going to attempt to, again, conjure a spiritual weapon. And assuming you guys don't counterspell this one, it's going to spawn right above your head, Julie, and you shift as it just kind of crashes down. It seems to form, just kind of fade away as it crashes into the cart, and then forms kind of right back above your head. And then once that misses, he's going to then attempt to pull out a spear a second time, chucking it at you. Fucking crit missing again.
It's still stuck.
It's still stuck.
Why won't it come out?
Ouch!
After this, he's gonna say fuck it and turn into a luchador.
All right. The orcs, the ones who are still living over by the cart, realize that trying to push this thing over is probably not going to work out too well. So instead, they're going to climb up it. One's going to take a swing at Sind, one's going to take a swing at Julie. That's the one against Singe, crit miss. You batter the axe to where it almost falls out of his hands. I'm going to make a dex saving throw. All right, his great axe falls and behind you, out the cart. He is stuck with only a javelin at this point. The one against Julie, boy, I'm getting all sorts of crit misses today. My God, great start. All right, the one against Julie is going to make an attack. There we go. That's a good roll. That one's going to cut against you for 9 points of damage, Julie.
-3, so for 6.
Thank you.
All right. The orc against UK is going to attempt to make another slice against you.
Yeah,
That's going to miss widely. You parry the blow and nearly knock him off his feet. All right. The one who is not charmed is going to make a swing against you, Treverin, or Tegan, excuse me. Get my tunes mixed up. Missing, you shift nimbly out of the way, simply dodging it. The one that you have charmed... how long is he charmed for? 1 minute, or until anybody is damaged to him. Okay. Following your commands, he's going to move over and attempt to attack Limsh. And hit.
Hit him
All right.
right in the spear.
You watch his Glimsh's eyes kind of go wide with confusion as the axe just kind of cuts hard across his chest. And he fully did not expect that. He has to make a con save to see if he can maintain the spiritual weapon. Crit failing. I think that's the third natural one I've gotten with this tune. There's a reason this guy wasn't in charge, Julie.
I was gonna say, I hope to God he's not runner-up for the fucking leadership.
All right, Kay, you're up.
I'm gonna use my bonus action to put the hex on this guy. And again for strength.
Uh-huh.
And give him a double thwack.
All right. Both attacks will land. Go ahead and roll damage.
And then 2 hexes.
All right. Much like the previous orc that you have taken out, you watch it. You take 2 swings against this creature, nearly eviscerating him as the shadowy tendrils seem to like they just kind of pulled apart at the flesh. He kind of reels back, not completely surprised by this, and he watches the breath just kind of escapes his body. All right. Julie, these 2 orcs have climbed up the back of the cart. One of them is now reaching for a javelin. The other one is taking his great axe and has managed to get 1 hit against you.
The guy with the great axe, I will attack first.
All right. Crit. All right. You chop off his hands, and as he no longer has a grip on the cart, he just goes flying back off.
Is he dead? Yeah, good.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right. And then second attack on the other guy.
Go for it. That hits. All right. You cut deep into his hand to the point where it looks like it hit bone, but it catches. And so he cries out in anger and fury, but he manages to still hold on, desperately reaching out for a javelin with the other hand and trying to steady himself.
Okay.
All right. Sin, you're up.
This guy's still alive? Yes, I think.
Yes.
Oh, why the hell not? Sin's just gonna look over at Julie and say, "You learned to fight from these guys?" And with a little bit of smoke like curling out of his lips, turn around and just straight up blast him with my breath weapon.
All right. Go ahead and roll your damage ahead of time.
Yeah.
Okay. Doesn't matter whether or not he saves. It's going to be enough damage that he is just goes up in flames. You hear as he just kind of rears off the cart, flees for a little bit, trying to pat himself out. It's no use. He just kind of collapses against the floor. He is out.
And
Do you
they
breathe
fall.
fire as a bronze drake
as a golden dragon,
Gold.
I do.
or gold drake?
Yes.
I thought for some reason I thought it was acid.
And for shits and giggles, because I've already seen this spell attempted once today, I'm going to cast this on as a bonus action on the head honcho.
All right. So, conjuring it close to him, you watch as the weapon forms. What form does your spiritual weapon take?
Oh, a sword, big sword, great sword.
Okay, you watch as the gigantic greatsword spawns in a spectral form, and as you slam it down on top of him, you watch as the force kind of impacts him, nearly knocking the breath out of him. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Let's see. What am I clicking on for that exactly?
The spiritual weapon text in the chat box.
Gotcha. 1 second. Sorry.
There you go. Okay. As it slams into him, you watch as the breath gets knocked out. He kind of staggers a little bit, but he is still reaching for that damn javelin stuck to the back. He can't get it. Spear, whatever. All right. Done for your turn?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Treverin, you're up next.
Okay. First thing I'm gonna do is, hey, Julie, are these friends of yours?
Not exactly.
Okay.
Does he like? Are any of the other orcs like the mooks and any of them people that Julie knows?
You don't know them personally, but you recognize they are all wearing the symbol on their leather vests of the Scorched Eye clan.
Yeah, which some of you may have, I don't know, noticed on some of Julie's gear when you first met him. Gear that he no longer has. But yeah, Julie would. These are members of my tribe, or my former tribe.
You hear Glimpse cry out as you shout back, "You are an outsider. You have no tribe."
Says the guy who can't handle a spear.
which he's still trying to pull out of the pack.
Julie rolls his eyes at him,
1d4 psychic.
which is a huge insult. A huge insult. Like, you're no threat.
So, with hearing that from Julie, I'm going to take the disengage action.
Okay.
I'm going to go to here.
Mhm.
And then I'm going to use this.
All right.
And I'm going to magic missile his buddy here at level 2.
Okay. All right. 3, 5 is 8, and 2 is 10, 15. All right. You watch as the magic missile kind of impact into him, and he just kind of face plants into the dirt. All right. That it for your turn, Trevelyan?
Yep.
Okay. Droloff, you're up next.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna jump off the cart and attack the head honcho here,
All right.
and I'm going to do. Wait, hold on, I forgot this. I'm gonna do a reckless. That's
Go for it. That's advantage. Yep. Alrighty. Going in for recklessly, you managed to get the first hit off on him. Go ahead and roll damage. All right. Jumping off the cart with battle axe in hand, you charge, cutting him deep across the leather. You watch as bits of it begin to kind of tear off as he kind of come in angrily towards the sides. You got a second attack there. 21 hits, roll damage. All right. The second strike does hit, but it's not quite as heavy hitting. He kind of staggers back a little bit. He's looking pretty hurt.
that ends my turn.
Okay. On his turn,
Did you ever have this orc go yet?
he attacked his buddy there.
Okay. Yeah. Just wasn't sure.
All right. On his turn, being kind of angry that he got attacked by one of his own clan, he goes, "What do you think you're doing?" And he's going to take his spear, or going to attempt to pull out the spear. He manages to pull out the spear, and he's going to try to use the butt of it to make an attack against the orc next to him. And just enough that it actually hits.
Look, everyone, he freed the spear.
And I'm just linking this for my benefit, because I think he has to repeat the wisdom save. I don't remember.
I think it's if he takes damage.
Or until you or your companions. No? Okay.
That's
So what
it's
he would
not
do.
him. It's me, right?
Yep. You would
it's-
you or your companions would have to damage him. So
Right.
all right, in that case, the orc is still charmed. He's going to make another great attack against his buddy, hitting for 11 points of damage. All right, Glimpse looks like he's about to go keel over. Okay, you're up.
Can I see this guy by chance? Probably not, right?
The cart's kind of blocking the way. You'd have to have your horse kind of right around.
Sure, I'll have my horse right up around here then.
You command the horse. The horse has a movement speed of 60 feet. So easy enough. You kind of get him around.
All right. And I'm gonna form my sword into a longbow.
Okay.
Bonus action hex on him.
All right.
And I don't know if this applies to my longbow or not. I'm gonna read real quick. Whenever you attack with your packed weapon, I can attack twice. So I can shoot 2 arrows.
All right.
So I'm just gonna roll longsword. It's the same fucking thing.
Okay. Unfortunately, both attacks go and swing wide.
And same thing for him though. Is gonna be strength.
Okay. He is affected
Okay.
with that strength effect. He is looking like he's about ready to keel over, though. Julia, you're up. You watch as one of the orcs of the Scorched Eye, having charmed by your elf, is in the middle of combat with Glimpse. Glimpse is looking really badly hurt. As you approach, he looks up at you and says, "The White One will hold our clan."
I'm sorry, you said the white one will hold our clan?
Yes.
Yeah, too bad you won't be around to see it.
Crit miss. All right. You come in with the first swing, and it's like you hesitate for a minute, reveling in the moment, and then you bring your sword up. How do you want to do this?
Yeah, I just a brief hesitation, like made you look, and then just come down with the straight over the top shot.
Okay. You just
Wait,
it's like cleaving the.
is he wearing the really cool helmet like in the picture?
Yep.
Then I'll take him like at the shoulder through his
Okay.
body.
In that case, you almost practically kind of cut him in half. It's a very Conan the Barbarian sort of moment as the greatsword just nearly cleaves him in two across the shoulder, and he just kind of as he collapses onto the ground.
All right, I want to search him for any clues as to this white one.
Okay. You still have one orc left. He is charmed, but
Oh,
only Treverin.
I'll action surge and attack him.
Okay. All right. 14 hits, 18 hits. All right. Seeing the other orc next to you, you just take the greatsword and take 2 swings against him, and you just eviscerate him. He is out of the picture. You're out of combat. As you're searching Golimsh for any clues, go ahead and make an investigation check.
While he's doing that, I just climb back on my horse and just.
Can I
Julie-
search for a great axe off one of these friggin' orcs?
Yep, you can get a great axe off one of these orcs pretty easily.
Sweet.
Singe would
The
oh, sorry, go ahead.
sorry, the axes themselves will function as regular great axes. They are kind of crude orcish make, but they work.
That's a great weapon.
Yep. So you can get a great axe off one of them pretty easily. As you're searching the body there, Julie, nothing stands out to you. You can't find anything. Singe, what were you gonna say?
Oh, Singe is gonna hop down off the back of the cart, and he's gonna kind of like wrench off the arm of the orc that he flame breathed,
Mhm.
and just kind of take it back with him up into the cart and start snacking.
Okay. You
I
are
see,
going-
man. That's that. You're only taking his arm. Don't you need more than a snack?
Is this not acceptable now? First a dwarf, now an orc. Am I allowed to have a meal?
No, I'm saying take more.
Too much. Orcs give me gas.
So do you fart flame?
What's that?
I said, then are you gonna fart flames?
Well, like no one ever said it comes out that way before, but
So, Kane wants to
Kill it.
come down, and knowing that Julie got this item from one of the people from his tribe that he's currently wearing, I want to search him and see if he's carrying anything of power as well.
Make an investigation check. He's not carrying any shard. However, as you're kind of thoroughly searching, you do find a coin pouch kind of hidden underneath his leather vest that contains about 50 gold pieces. And you also find hidden inside of there is a somewhat crude drawing of what looks like a pale orc. And it's got a couple of curses that Julie recognized in Orcish as generally being obscene. And again, very, very crude sort of drawing of the creature. It seems like if he kept this on his person, it was under the impression to show perhaps other orcs that he was not a fan of whoever this person was. The name that you see written underneath this person is Geladran the White.
Can you spell that
Does
for me?
Julie know him?
You have never heard of him. Spelled that way.
Totally not
I'm in,
how
I'm
I'm
in.
spelling.
I'll just toss the 50 gold coins to Julie since he has the pouch. Or the bag of holding. Just say, pocket that, do with it what you will.
Okay. Okay, will do. Collect up all the great axes too. That's valuable treasure. How many gold was there?
50. Just a 50 gold pouch.
And all right, so 50 gold.
Are you gonna add that great axe to my inventory, Killy?
Yeah, I can do that. Sure.
Thank you. I didn't know how to do it, so
After you have that great axe, how many great axes are left?
5. I think.
6.
One,
There
two,
were
three,
seven
four.
minions.
Yep. Okay. You're right.
I want to take his helmet too.
All right. The helmet doesn't provide any bonuses, but it looks cool.
No, it's for the altar later.
Okay.
Just a trophy.
Sure. I don't know why I moved the great axe all the way down there, but sure.
Singer's gonna look at Drayloff and just be like, drive on, diminutive one.
Oh, that swing's heavy. Yeah. Okay.
All right. What else do you do? If anything.
I'm gonna get back on my driver's seat.
Okay. Are you guys gonna pack up, or are you guys gonna do anything else here? Or
I'm packed up and ready to roll.
Yep.
okay.
I'm ready to roll.
I'm trying to look at Sandra. Are you full now?
Maybe.
All right. So, shit. Trying to click on this line and get rid of it. Just clearing the way for future random encounters, just in case. All right. So,
That sounds ominous.
after having cleared out the orcs and found this ominous-looking note, you have continued on towards the hamlet of Red Larch. As you approach the town itself, it looks like it's seen some growth in recent years. You can see there's a number of farms that have kind of spread out around the edges of the city itself, mostly containing halflings that seem to be tending it late at night. They don't really pay much mind as you make your way forward along the roadside. It is getting to be late at dusk as you begin to kind of make your way in just before dinner time. The village itself looks like it's had a number of new construction on the outer edges of the city, at least by comparison to some of the older looking rustic settlements closer to the intersection, which seems to have had recent patchwork here and there. As you make your way in towards the center square of town, you can hear some laughter of children that look like they might be playing around. And as the children are kind of laughing and rolling and playing around, you see coming out of the corner of one of the buildings, to everyone's surprise, is what looks like a panther, a big black cat, who just kind of turns the corner. And as it kind of turns around and looks at you as you kind of approach, it looks around at all of you, looks surprisingly playful with these small children, and then it just kind of stops and stares for a minute and waits.
I'm going to attempt to, not seeing a panther before, I'm going to attempt to approach it and play with it.
Okay.
I just look at it and roll my eyes like, really?
As you look at it, it looks like it's looking directly at you, Trebaron.
Yeah, not surprised.
Julie draws his sword.
I tell Julie,
He stares
Don't.
back at it. He's in a
Just-
staring contest with the panther now.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
The
Julie,
children
put your sword away.
as
Children
you
are
draw
present.
as you draw the sword, the children kind of recoil back a little bit, and they say, "No, no, don't hurt him." And some of the guards nearby kind of draw their swords and like, "It's okay, big fella. Don't worry, he's friendly. I know it's weird, but trust us, it's been around a while. Just sheath it. It's fine."
Julie just kind of grunts and puts his sword away.
Okay, they sheath their swords. The children kind of protectively try to back away a little bit and make sure they're kind of protecting him. Singe, as you approach, the children kind of stop and they're not sure what to make of you. You're kind of big and scary looking. They're standing in front of it and kind of trying to protect it.
Singe is going to approach it. Look at the big putty tat! It's amazing.
They at that point the children just kind of smile. He's like, "He's really friendly.
I'm gonna walk up
His
and
name is
try pet
his
it.
name is Barrage." All right, you go and try to pet it. Go ahead and make an animal handling check.
Sure.
It is your arm that shall be gone this time.
That's what he's gonna pull back a nose.
Okay. As you kind of stretch out your hands, slowly making your way over towards the creature, having not seen it before, he just kind of raises up his head into your hand and lets you just kind of pet it like it's a house cat.
If he rolls over, I'm rubbing its belly.
Done. All right, you guys to kind of stop in the middle of the road with the cart and the horses and everything, and Singe is in the middle, just playing with this cat, and the children are kind of all around the town square, and they're beginning to ask you questions like, "Who are you? Where are you from? Okay, what's that stuff you're wearing?" General nosy kid sort of questions.
Ah.
And they've taken an interest in you because you've taken an interest in the cat. You're kind of weird and strange, and they're curious.
I'm gonna tell them I'm from Evermeet. My name is Singe.
And they go, "I've never seen one of you before. Can you breathe fire? I think they can breathe acid. I don't remember.
Only bad dragons breathe the acid, my friends. Well, not
Oh,
all bad dragons.
do you have a bunch of treasure hidden somewhere? You have minions guarding it?"
With that, I'll pull out like about 5 gold pieces and give one to each of them, assuming there are 5 treasures there.
Wow! And they take it. They look at each other with big wide eyes, like this is the most treasure they've ever seen in forever. They thank you, and they immediately kind of go rushing off to tell their parents in different hamlets and stuff. And the panther kind of looks over at your direction curiously, and it pauses a little bit, looking over in your direction again, Treverin, and it just begins to kind of back away and slink off on its own somewhere to what looks like maybe some sort of barracks off on the left side of town.
I'm gonna
Okay.
look at Treverin and go, "Can you explain what the hell that was about?"
Later. What time of day is it?
It is nearing dusk.
Is the market still open? Can we go get a jar of pickles for my dragonborn friend?
Yep.
Okay, so I will run by the vendor since it's world famous now from my parents and pick up a jar of pickles and give it to the dragonborn and say, "Here, try these instead of arms for a while. See if that helps you out."
So it costs you about a silver piece for
That's
a whole
fine.
jar of them. They're actually memorial pickles because he passed away in a certain attack. But you gather a jar of them. The old woman who's kind of running the whole shindig kind of thanks you for your contribution, gives you the jar. Singe, you're handed this jar full of what looks like pickled cucumbers.
With shock and horror.
And I look at him and say, "These are good eats. Try one.
They look like goblin
Tastes like
penis.
chicken. It tastes like chicken."
They look
Yeah,
too much like goblin penis. You can keep these all to yourself.
You hear a couple of the guards.
And with that, I'll just walk away. I'll be like, I don't understand you. I do not understand you people and the food you eat. And just kind of step away.
Figures. I open the jar and eat a pickle.
Okay.
And offer it to everyone else.
Okay.
I'll snag a pickle.
All right. It's sour, but it tastes pretty good.
Yeah, now I want a pickle.
Now do I want to? I had a coworker. I think just yesterday got herself a whole big jar of pickles. Gave me one. Big ass pickles. I can't stop and think about them. All right. So the market's. You got it's nearing dusk. There appears to be an inn and a tavern close by to one another. The tavern is, well, the inn is called the Swinging Sword Inn, and the tavern shares the same name.
I'm going to the tavern. Y'all know where I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
I'll follow my compatriots.
Same.
I will follow.
Okay. You make your way into the tavern. The tavern itself is a little ramshackle. Looks like it's been patched up here and there and everywhere. However, the place is lively. You can see there's more than a few folks who are in the middle of eating. The favorite of the day seems like there's these. They're spread across the counter. There's a young-looking woman, maybe in her uh, late 20s, who has just this huge spread of apple pies, big ones too, just kind of spread around the counter there, and is sharing pieces of it out here, there, and everywhere, alongside a couple of a couple of cups of what looks like maybe some dwarven ale being handed out to different patrons as they kind of make their way in. You can see off in the corner of the room, there's a couple of halflings that are in the middle of playing on. One of them's playing a lute, one of them singing some sort of bawdy song, the other two are dancing. In another corner, it looks like you can see there's a couple of humans and dwarves that are in the middle of a card game. Most folks seem to be around some of the nearby booths that are in the middle of eating and drinking. You can also smell fresh mead, some fresh meats. It is right around harvest time, and the food is good country food. Hope you all have had dinner, because I haven't.
He's dreaming about what he'll get.
Julie sits down and proceeds to put on an eating display. Like he's like a machine. He loves good food.
So
Okay.
while
I heard
they're
the word dwarven
distractedly,
ale.
He'll just keep eating and drinking and eating and drinking.
yeah, while
Alright.
they're distractedly eating and stuff, I'm gonna slip out and go follow where that panther went.
Okay.
I'm going to approach the halflings because one of the things that Singe did pick up during his uh just travels is he learned how to play dice, and he's going to ask them if they want to play dice instead of cards.
I thought you were going
Okay.
to say a taste for halflings.
Oh,
Sorry. As you bring up the dice, go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Sure. Oh.
They say, well, maybe a bit later if you're interested. We're about to finish the game here. Be a touch for dice later.
Okay.
Kay, what do you do?
I was just gonna hang out in the tavern and just relax and eat some food. It's been a while since I've had a decent meal.
Okay. We'll get back to some of the tavern stuff in a minute. Treverin, as you kind of slink out of the tavern, are you doing so in a way that is hidden from your compatriots?
Not necessarily hidden from the Pikachu, but with them being all distracted, I just I don't really excuse myself or anything. I just kind of get up and just kind of walk out.
Okay.
So it's not like if they notice me walking out, that's fine. But if they're eating and in the midst of conversation, I'm not really saying much. And
Okay. I'll say if any of you have a passive perception over 14, you'll notice that Treverin walks out after a while. In that case, let's go take care of some of this. So, Julie, any costs of the food and the drink and everything will have been covered in the cost that it made you all pay before you started the trip. As you're in the middle of eating, one of the dwarfs comes up next to you, slams down a tankard, and says, "Oi, betcha 5 gold that I can drink more. I can drink 5 faster than you."
Julie replies, "I'll bet you 5 gold I pass out from the smell of your dwarf stink."
What's that? And he kind of slams the tankard down, gets up, and cracks his knuckles together. What do you do?
Julie laughs. Julie laughs and says, "Typical dwarf. Too stupid to think up something funny. Ha 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 ha." He's laughing at him.
Okay. He goes in for a punch at you. So I'm going to have you just make 3 strength checks. We're just going to do 3 opposed strength checks. Best of 3. Actually, best of 5. Best of 5 strength checks. I'll add the modifiers because I don't have a stamp block. It's going to be a +3 modifier to every attack he does. These are going to be unarmed strikes. The first person, I say best of 5. Whoever gets the win of the best of 5 gets knocked out. And the guards are more than happy to see a little bit of entertainment as this happens. So go ahead and make your first strength check. Just roll strength.
Oh, jeez.
All right. He clocks you. You feel a bit of blood kind of dribble across the corner of your mouth. Make your next one.
Wait, what did? Wait.
I'm adding a
Oh,
+3 to everything.
Oh, so he got a 13. and I got
Yep.
a 14, so I won the first one.
I see.
Oh no, I got a
10.
10 because it was 6. It was 6, not all right. No, I
Yeah.
misunderstood. You're fine.
Okay. So he wins the first one. You got a 10. I rolled a 10, and then I'm adding a 3. I don't have the modifiers. I'm auto adding. Okay. So on the second one, you come in with an uppercut. You hear as you kind of hit him right underneath the chin. Make your third one.
hard to do for a dwarf.
Okay. You tie this time. As you kind of get in, you manage to block his attack. He comes in against you. You manage to block his attack. Go and make your fourth one. Okay, this time you kind of clock him in the chin. You watch a bit of blood, and a couple of folks are kind of cheering this on. And especially some of the more drunken folks are nice or happy to see kind of a rowdy go to get at it. Final, well, we haven't hit 3 yet. You're 2 ahead.
No,
Who's won it?
I got. Oh well, no, I have 3 wins, right?
You tied
So
for one.
so 10 and 10. Well, 10 plus 3 is 13 on my first one. You got to raw 10. He beat you the
Oh
first
no, all
one.
right. I got you. I got you. So someone might
So-
not get 3. Okay.
Okay, because we got to get this straight now. So first to 3, I should
So
say. I think so. Best of 5 first. So
he got
so
best
so
of 5. No one wins because he got 2. I got 2.
okay. All right. So you manage to you're kind of even-handedly to one another before the tavern owner kind of jumps in and says, "All right, boys, all right, break it up. We've had enough of this." You kind of wipe away at the blood. The dwarf kind of stands there. You can actually throw a pretty good punch. I'm impressed.
Yes, you tough for dwarf. Sit, drink. Julie calls the woman over. Drink for dwarf.
Okay. You begin to share a drink, you talk a little bit, get friendly with one another. He says, "Name's Torbjorn. What's yours?"
Julie.
"Nice to meet you. Always happy to share a punch with a man who can do the same." And he raises his tankard, slaps you on the back, and chugs.
Yeah, Julie will drink with him. He can respect someone who's willing to go to blows over something stupid.
Okay. More than happy to do so. He shares with you a little bit about himself. He just says he's a kind of an adventurer starting out. He managed to wander around some old ruins and kind of shows off this cloak that he had gotten that looks to be of beautiful make, and says, "With this baby, I can sneak around, make sure all these nasty beasties can't see me, and then come in for the blow."
Julie just nods in approval.
So you talk for a little bit. Okay, you're kind of off in a corner eating them by yourself, or are you engaged with some of the rest of the members of the party?
Alright, I was going to actually see, because coming from a religious sect area, I haven't really, seen any gambling, so knowing kind of what Singe is going to do, I kind of follow him curiously.
Okay. So Singe offers for the dice game. At the moment, they're in the middle of cards, but I'll say after some time passes, and we'll kind of poke back and forth between things. The dwarves will invite you over for the game of dice, and they'll say, "We can play. The one we like to play is Alondra's favor." And the way you're not familiar with the rules of that one.
I'm not familiar with that at all.
Here's the rules, right?
Okay.
You put down a fixed bet onto the table, and you roll 2 6-sided dice. The goal is to either get 7 or 12. Now, after your first roll, you can double down your bet and re-roll one of the 6s, adding it to your roll, to see if you can't happen to get it. First person to roll a 7 or a 12 grabs the pot.
Oh, with that, I'll bet 2 gold.
The dwarves, not being one to counteract, will match your bet.
I will match his as well.
Okay. The opening pot becomes 2 gold each. Starting with you, Singe. Go ahead and roll 2d6 for me.
You want me to roll them one at a time?
Yeah, if you want. All right. You roll a total of 10. You can double down the bet and add another d6 to the roll, attempting to hit 12, or you can simply bow out.
Totally doubling down.
Okay. You put down another 2 gold. There is 10 gold in the pot. You bust.
Oh,
Okay, it rotates over to you. Go ahead and roll 2d6. You roll a 6. You can re-roll a d. You can double down and roll another s6, adding on top of it, or you can bust.
I'll double down. Screw it.
All right. 12 gold on the table. You roll 10. You unfortunately do not hit it.
Yeah.
All right. The first dwarf will go. He will also double down, and he does not hit it. Second dwarf goes. He will double down, and he also rolls 5 and does not hit it. The
What are the
dwarves put in.
chances?
So there's 16 gold in the pot. The dwarves will put another 2 gold each into the pot.
I'll toss another 2 as well, I suppose.
Same here.
Okay. 24 gold in the pot. Play starts with play starts with K this time around.
Hey!
You take the gold.
How much is that?
24.
24.
Memory serves. Yep. Okay. So you guys are in the middle of playing. You take all that gold for yourselves. So that we're not spending all night here. We'll
Yeah,
that
gotcha.
start. So while all this is going on, Treverin, you make your way out of the inn, and you watch as he begins to kind of make your way out. You make your way out, and at this point, the sun has begun to set. And as you make your way out towards the center of town, you follow the trail of the panther, and he is right on the western edge of town near what looks to be kind of this barracks looking area, and he just kind of out of the corner of your eye you watch as he just kind of slinks into this building.
And I'll kind of just approach it and look around, see if there's anything that I notice like familiar.
Parts of the town are vaguely familiar to you, although it's you haven't visited the place in a while, and a lot of the newer construction is obvious.
But do I recognize the barracks they slunk into? I mean, is it?
You recognize it as the former barracks of Sir Bradford.
Okay. And I'll just kind of approach the barrack building. Is the door open or closed? Can I see inside?
Excuse me. The door is open.
Okay.
The
And
you see sitting at a desk lit by a single candle is not Sir Bradford. Unfortunately, Sir Bradford had passed away while you were still relatively young. Um, you do see, however, a middle-aged looking man with bits of graying hair beginning to form around a wide beard that kind of drapes down just above his chest. Short hair that is parted kind of down the middle with a favor towards the right side. Big bushy eyebrows that are nearly completely silver. He is in the middle of what looks to be writing some sort of letter. As the panther kind of slinks in and begins to kind of eat near one of the bowls, he just kind of puts his hand down and pets the panther for a little bit.
I'll kind of stand in the doorway and knock on the door and poke my head in.
As you knock on the door, the man turns around. You recognize this man as Sir Bradford's son, who is also goes by the name Sir Bradford in town.
Right.
And he kind of peers up at you, looks and says, "Huh." And the panther kind of looks at you and slinks away with its meal elsewhere. He kind of stands up and goes, huh, Trevor, I think it's been what, 15, 20 years? How have you been?
Something like that. I'm getting along. I happened to see familiar sights and coming through Red Larch, figured I'd come pay you a visit.
Well, I can't say I don't appreciate the visit, but it's unusual for you to go out of your way to meet any of your, much of your old life, really. Or your father's, I should say. What brings you out this way?
We're on an adventure. Some compadres I'm with are taking us up to the mountain to look for something, or I don't know. I'm just along for the ride, to be perfectly honest with you. And you know, things have changed recently, and so I've had some. I won't say dreams, but some very strange. Like something is having me recall my previous life, and then all of a sudden here we are now in Red Larch. So I figured uh, something or somebody's trying to tell me something. So I figured I would seek it out.
At this, his wide furrowed eyebrows kind of furrow a little bit. The brow furrows, and he says, "Do you hear voices as part of this?"
It wasn't necessarily hearing voices. It was basically, uh, you know how in your dad's journal he used to always document all of his adventures, and then he would
Yes,
read them real fast and to try to reminisce, especially as he
of
got older.
of
It's
course.
kind of like that, but it's happening while I'm in trance and resting. It's like I'm just seeing pictures and images, and I'm not really, they're all stuff that I know transpired, but I don't really know why they're coming to the surface now.
He says, "Are there central images that you're seeing?"
Uh, they seem to somewhat focus on my parents, but I can't say all of them are that way. 'Cause, it's just recent. It's just a thing of that's started happening recently.
He says, "Do you?" And he kind of hesitates for a minute and says, "Do you want to? I think I might be able to help you focus and discern what it is you're trying to. I don't know. Get a feel for what it is you're trying to remember."
And that's exactly why I sought you out. And I knew you were
He
in town when I saw your baby with you running around town.
Well, I can't promise too much of anything, but uh, Dad did write an old ritual that might allow some communion here, hopefully with something that might be able to help us. I'm going to tell you now, I don't know whether it was a creature of the Shadowfell or something greater that was attempting to reach out to you, but I personally am going to seek a power, preferably of Mount Celestia, and see if they can provide answer.
Okay, I say that sounds about the most promising lead I have at this moment. So I'd say let's do it.
Okay? So he pulls out a tome. He begins to kind of clear a nearby area away of a couple of different beds and benches and things of the sort, and begins to pull out a piece of chalk and looks to be maybe a couple of miscellaneous animal bones, and begins to draw circles and lay the bones around them. And he beckons you to sit opposite of him of an arcane circle that he draws on the ground, and assuming you do so, he then begins to chant a spell. You recognize the spell as being a variant augury spell that relies on the focus of an individual's mind to pull from their understanding of the world to draw understanding of a understanding of the future. So as you focus on the spell, it's not like being in your trance where all these images and memories are kind of floating out and around you. But as the memories begin to focus a little bit, and as you begin to see more and more of your parents, there is a focus especially on your mother. And as the focus on your mother begins to get clearer and clearer, you see some of the golden eyes that your mother had that you yourself now kind of share some small resemblance to. Um, as the memories kind of focus on your mother, you begin to remember things that there's no way you could possibly remember. Bits of your mother as a young woman, a much younger woman, making her way across the Feywild and practicing with different forms of magic that you've never seen, let alone heard of before, as begins to kind of dance around here, there, and everywhere. images of your mother praying to some other matronly figure that you don't recognize. And then you see different images of history flash, events that you've heard of but would never have witnessed, parts of which you seem to recognize as being elements of the spell plague. You watch as bits of terrain just kind of upend themselves in magical arcane bursts as wizards seem to spontaneously self-combust, all these other particularly nasty things. And then you see more images of cities falling from the sky. You see mages being destroyed or teleported by arcane bursts to God knows where, and they all look like they come from a different ancient empire, and just these elements of magical destruction here, there, and everywhere. Wild magic that just surges and is touched and tainted in so many different ways. And the final image that you focus on is your mother conjuring for herself what looks like a fell beast temporarily, and it startles her. She recoils, and the beast moves to attack her. And as she opens up her hand and unleashes a burst of arcane energy, the beast just disappears. You watch as she kind of looks at her hand, the young woman that she is, confused. And it glows with this black, tenderly energy that kind of weaves its way across her fingers. And she looks sickened and worried and rushes off. And that's the last thing you see before the spell ends and you're suddenly jolted awake.
Okay.
And Sir Bradford kind of looks at you and says, Treverin, your eyes, they're pale.
They're pale.
He pulls up a mirror, and as you look at your pupils, the pupils themselves are completely gray.
Well, that's new.
He says, I'm sorry. I'm sure it's a temporary side effect. Hopefully after a night's rest, it'll begin to fade.
Yeah. Well, I'll deal with it. I'm not worried about that as much. I'm just more confused now than when I walked in, to be honest with you, Sir Bradford.
He kind of half-heartedly chuckles. The panther, by the way, is hiding behind a chair, and he
I
says,
call him out and just pat him.
he kind of shudders, and it's like petting a log. He just kind of stands still, lets it happen. Very haphazardly makes his way over to you, like he's kind of scared of you.
Yeah.
And
No, I'm sure we had an encounter previously.
Be right back.
so it's like petting a still cat that just lets it happen, doesn't really want to do anything else. Sir Bradford will say, I'm sorry you're leaving with more questions than answers. I'm afraid I don't know much else I can do, but it's good to see you.
It's good to see you too. Out of curiosity, do you ever hear from my father?
He says, the last time I had heard, he was making his way up north to some tomb or something.
So he's back out of the Feywild doing something. Okay.
Only temporarily.
Okay. Well, if he happens to come by here, just tell him I asked about him,
Of course.
and then I'll depart.
Okay. The rest of you in the tavern have been spending your time kind of eating, drinking, doing whatever else. Singe, you will have watched as Treverin kind of slinks his way back in. There's a couple, as you kind of make your way back in to get a drink or whatever, there's a couple of people who kind of look up in your direction, and you watch as there's this grimace as they kind of look up at your face, but they seem keen to just kind of leave you alone.
I don't even remark that they even notice or comment. I just kind of sit down and order an ale.
Okay. The woman just kind of gives it off to you and continues on with the rest of the stuff. By the time you enter back into the inn, about half the apple pie has been passed out by different members of the tavern itself. As you sit with your compatriots, Singe, you will have noticed at the very least that Treveran's eyes have kind of gotten pale a little bit.
With that, with noticing that, I'm gonna walk over and be like, um, are you all right? You look like you've had something of a fright.
Yeah, I'm fine. Just trying to work some personal stuff out. Appreciate the thoughts to come over here and ask me about it.
Not a problem. And mm, I assume it's dark outside.
It's pretty dark outside at this point.
If I missed it while we were away, if we haven't retained lodgings for the evening, I would like to see if there's an inn nearby. I mean, I know this is a tavern, but I'm
Yep.
gonna see if there's an inn
The inn
nearby.
is directly across the tavern itself, the Swinging Sword Inn. It's run by Marianne or Kel.
I'm going to inquire about if they have any open rooms, and if so, I'd like to get one.
Okay. They'll offer you rooms. Again, we'll take it out of the money that you guys had paid ahead of time.
Okay, fair enough.
So it's not difficult to get yourselves rooms for the evening and rest up. Is there anything else you would like to do before you bed down?
Kelly, looking around the old stomping grounds that I know played a big part in my father's adventures, is there any evidence of the Diamond Bear stuff around?
Make a perception check while you're in the tavern.
Okay.
What did we leave in the tavern?
You do notice that hanging above a couple of the booths is the symbol of a diamond bear hanging in what appears to be it may have been crafted as some sort of stained glass mirror that is hanging portraited over the booths.
So
And
I'll kind of
across from that, you see, for whatever reason, there's a symbol that says Ack Inc. Sorry, go ahead.
no. I'll say while everyone's retiring, I'll just kind of sit there and stare at it for a little bit, and then maybe like 10, 15 minutes, contemplating, and then head off to bed.
Okay. What do the rest of you do, if anything?
Getting
Eat and
drunk
drink.
at the bar.
Lead some orcish drinking songs.
Okay.
Drinking, relaxing, ready to.
All right.
Well, before I
Go
go
ahead.
up and go to bed, just out of the, I'm gonna glance at Julie and just cast healing word before I go up to bed without him knowing, just because I saw the little bit of blood that popped out of his mouth earlier when he got popped by that dwarf pretty good. And then
Okay.
I'm just gonna go
Make
upstairs.
a sleight of hand check. Julie, make a perception check. Okay. Julie didn't seem to notice. He's too drunk.
Oh, tingly.
So don't worry about doing hit points because you're about to get benefits for a long rest.
In a good way, though.
Well, to be
your
fair,
dwarven
I didn't know if
Go
he
ahead.
was going to bed.
So your dwarven compatriots kind of drunk haphazardly singing. He tries to chime in with his own drinking songs. It's too drunk to really worry about too much about the words. Everybody's kind of having a good time, celebrating the end of the harvest. For those of you who are in the middle of playing dice, I'm going to say, Kay, over the course of this period of time, you win an additional 20 gold before everything kind of ups and stops.
Deal.
And then you guys all kind of bed down for the night. You make your way towards. You can either all share a room, make individual rooms, whatever you prefer.
I will take a individual room.
As will
Individual
I.
as well.
Okay. As you guys kind of take individual rooms, is there anything you would like to do prior to going to bed in your individual rooms?
Just offer some prayers to Tiamat and the good,
Tiamat.
not Tiamat, it's Bahamut. I keep fucking it up. And the no, I wasn't about to make that kind of awkward character switch over. That'd be funny shit though, wouldn't it? No, to Bahamut and the good dragons of the dragon pantheon, and other than that,
Okay.
just settle down for the evening.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay.
Oh, we raid and take the slaves, and we drive them to the slave market. Slave market's a great old family tune. Oh yes, we have lots of
God.
fun, killing all the women, raping all the animals. Oh wait, I think I have that backwards. Or not.
Oh my god.
God. Okay, so you all bed down for the night. Give yourselves benefits of a long rest if you haven't already. I will say, as in the middle of your rest, Treverin, over the course of your night's sleep, you have a bit more pleasant memories, more focused memories of your parents as they're and these memories are a bit more familiar. They're a bit more they're a bit less wild. There's a focus of trying to draw back into warmer, happier memories. And as you wake up in the morning, look in the mirror, those pale eyes have kind of faded back and away, and you look more like you did prior to the events of that particular spell.
Okay. Do I get the sense that at all that what I'm seeing is a story trying to be told to me, or a message trying to be delivered to me?
Make an insight check. Based on these different images, these different flashes, these different memories, not all of which are entirely your own, you get the sense that, there's a message or a story that is trying to be told to you through these images, through these memories. But the message itself, the story itself, is as of yet unclear.
Right. So what I will do is, as I get up, I will start jotting down in my journal some of the images and stuff to maybe try to piece together later.
Okay. As the rest of you get up in the morning, Julie, you have a terrible hangover.
Oh, don't I get like a Constitution check or something like that?
Yeah, Constitution saving roll.
All right, fine.
Motherfucker. Hold on.
What did you do? Stump your toe?
I feel like he took his headset off.
Personally, I thought he was acting on
I'd say
Julie's behalf.
He's having a better time than I am.
sounds-
Healing word backfired.
Sounds like he gave himself a Charlie horse.
what I'm
That's
thinking
not
too.
how you cast Healing Word. Or
Jeez.
That didn't sound right.
dude, tell her to slow down. It'll last longer.
God.
Oh shit, I'm crying.
Okay, while he's in pain, hopefully okay. You rolled a 12 as your first con save. Drill off, you're fine. You had resistance against it anyway. You're a dwarf. Julie, you're struggling a little bit. You have a little bit of a hangover.
Shit. Hold on.
Are you okay?
That hurt so fucking bad.
What the fuck did you do, man?
Oh, god damn. So the desk that I sit at with my computer on top of it is an old, not an IKEA desk, but a cheap IKEA-ish desk. It's just literally it has two uprights and a cross in between them, and then the tabletop.
Mhm.
My chair fits in between the two uprights.
Yeah.
Well, I was sitting cross-legged on the chair, and I fucking hit the fucking upright dead into the center of my kneecap. Ow!
Ooh.
Oh, like it literally made my leg like just go numb. Like except for the pain.
Yep.
Oh.
Okay. So you wake up. Julie has a hangover. You write down a few things in your journal there, Treverin. You guys could just ready the horses and continue on.
I mean, yeah. I have one goal in mind, and it's to get there. So
Okay.
You have to help the crippled dragon in the cart now.
God damn.
All right. The next village that you are traveling to is going to be Westbridge. That'll be about about a day and a half's travel on horseback and by cart. So as you guys are making your way there, are you continuing at a normal pace, or are you changing to fast and or stealthy?
I'm still good at the normal pace.
Yeah, me too.
All right. So I'm going to start by having everybody in the party make a stealth check.
I knew that was coming. Shit.
That's 5.
What are we doing, stealth?
Yes,
Sorry.
sir.
Draw if somebody rolled a 5, so but just in case anybody rolls lower. All right. Draloff, I need you to roll a D100 for me.
I don't know. I'll roll that.
Type /roll space D100 in the chat channel.
D100.
Yep.
Oh, for that. Gotcha.
Okay. You draw the attention of a few gigantic ass eagles that are just kind of flying overhead as you're kind of wandering around the road. They kind of swarm in close, kind of circling around you for a little bit. And as you're kind of circling around, go ahead and everybody make a perception check. Okay, Singe and Kay, you see, and Julie for that matter, you see sitting on the backs of some of these eagles. There's a couple of humanoid-looking figures, but as high up in the sky as they are, it's kind of hard to make out much more details. They look like they're just kind of keeping an eye on you. Singe, with your 20, it looks like the humanoid figures are wearing maybe some armor, and they're just kind of keeping a close eye on you, looking around the nearby vicinity. And as they're kind of flying around, they just keep a cautious eye out. A few of them fly ahead, a few of them fly back. They're just looking around. And then they all kind of fly off, it seems, off into a different formation somewhere else.
Okay.
So you've drawn the brief attention of some figures flying around on giant eagles. As they appear to be wearing armor. All right. Now make another stealth check from you, everybody.
They're flying and wearing armor.
Yep.
Interesting.
Son of a bitch.
Crit fail. Roll another D100 for me.
Yeah. Fail at that too.
Trying to cheat the system. I see what it is. Trying to roll greed for shing fucking WoW Classic. Look at the little dice roller thing on the left-hand side, and then click on it, and you can select a D100. There you go.
I didn't see it.
Okay. Let me check something.
I don't think it's on that list. It's not. Oh, like I said, is it an
Yeah,
advanced
it's a
dice roll?
drop down.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay. I see it now. Thank you.
As you are making your way, you're just south of the city of Westbridge. And as you're kind of wandering around near the edge of the hillside there's this rumbling that kind of spawns kind of close to you. and it looks like it's coming immediately off from maybe towards your east. What do you do, if anything?
I'll watch carefully, but I'm not about to stop moving, I guess. Kind of a thing.
Does my horse react to it?
They're startled a little bit, but they're holding steady for now at the pace that you're currently going.
As long as they're still holding pace, I'm continuing.
Okay. So let me get these horses back out. Kay's riding, Treveron's riding, and the rest of you are on the cart.
Mhm.
Which I'm just going to kind of haphazardly redraw. All right. As you're kind of continuing along at the normal pace, there is a bit of a the rumbling kind of gets louder and louder and louder. And as you are watching, you watch as the rumbling begins to get closer and closer. You watch as bits of rock begin to kind of pull up, and leaping out on either side of the cart, you see what look to be two large-sized creatures that just burrow out of the land like water, and they move in, attempting to, it seems like, swarm your horses as they kind of jump up out of the land itself. I need everyone to roll initiative.
Mother.
Sometimes those dice really go both ways, don't they?
All right, you got it. Yeah. All right. Treveron, you watch as these two large creatures pop up out of the ground. The horse is briefly startled, and as it sees this especially a large creature running towards it, I need you to make an animal handling check. Okay. The horse is spooked and looks like it's beginning to just start bolting down the road. But before it does, you got some options available. What do you do?
Well, knowing that he got spooked, or sensing he's taking off, I'm going to jump off of him
Okay.
and land. And now that I'm mad that this thing scared my horse, I'm going to target him and hit him with firebolt.
Okay. Miss. The fireball goes wide, shooting over the creature's head, and actually, I took it back. He's kind of leaping up out of the ground. You shoot the firebolt, and it goes just underneath the legs as it kind of veers wide.
Okay.
All right. Kay, I need you to make an animal handling check.
Sir, yes, sir.
Okay. You managed to keep your horse steady.
And I'm gonna turn my horse on this thing, and I'm gonna. Oh man, what do I want to do here? I have a cool idea. Fuck it. I'm gonna turn my sword into a lance like a knight,
Okay.
and I'm gonna run this thing down. Shield in one hand, lance in the other.
All right. Go for it.
I don't know what a lance does for damage.
Let me pull it up. A lance is 1d12.
Perfect. Actually, let's do this lance. Pull it over here. There we go. And I'll just change it to charisma.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. See it. All right. Coming in with the lance poking at this creature's rocky hide, you do manage to find two weak spots. Go ahead and roll damage. Ouch. All right. You hit the creature hard. It reels back, but it's ready to just kind of pounce on top of you. Is that your turn?
That's it.
All right. Cinder, you're up.
Uh, hold on. what I'm doing. Singe is going to cast Shield of Faith on himself as a bonus
All right.
action. And then he is going to jump off of the cart to the closest one and attempt to attack it.
Okay.
And
All right. 15 does not hit.
all right.
It bounces off of this rocky creature's hide.
And with that, I'm just going to remain where I'm at.
Okay. Julie, you're up next.
All right, Julie's gonna go in the other direction and get to here.
Okay.
Leap off the cart. Go there. He's going to before he does that though, he pulls out his fetish and uses it, and then he's going to wail on this thing because it's something he hasn't killed yet. He's excited.
All right.
Oh
So
wait, that's
seeing
supposed to
this-
be with advantage. Hold on.
All right.
All right, so that's
Got
the
this.
first attack.
All right. We'll count the dirty 20. All right. 24. Ow. No, that's the second attack. Sorry. Yeah, 24 hits too.
So a 20 and a 24.
So go ahead and roll
They
damage
both
for
hit?
both attacks. Yep. All right. 12 points in the first swing. And 15 on the second. You cleave into the rocky creature's hide, and it tears away, kind of like leather.
I didn't mean to roll that third one. Sorry.
Yep. All right. You done for your turn?
No, I'm going to action surge and do it again.
All right. 14 does not hit. Neither does that.
Wow.
Double critical fail. My gosh.
Ouch.
All right.
Okay.
Tapping into the energy of this eye, of this trinket that you have on your person, you manage to get 2 half-decent hits onto the creature, but it seems like it kind of peters out, and you're not able to read as well as you could. You're still trying to figure this item out, and as you kind of swing down, it shifts its body to where the sword just kind of bounces off. As it bounces off from the second miss, it nearly cuts you in the head, but you manage to barely hold steady.
Ouch. Okay.
All right. On the creature's turn, the one immediately to the right of you is going to jump up high, and then 15 feet high to be exact, and then it's going to land right on top of Treverin. First, Julie, you can make a attack of opportunity if you wish.
I wish.
Okay, I'm going to count to 23, but that hits. So, roll damage, but okay, I just want to make sure it doesn't crit that damage. All right, it does not. So,
No, I
13
have
points of damage.
I have a special button for crit.
Okay. So you manage to slice against the creature. One good hit across its underbelly is at least up high. As it attempts to land down on top of you, Treverin, I need you to make either a strength or a dexterity saving throw. Your choice.
Who, me or Treverin?
Treverin.
You said
Walked
strength
away
or
from you.
dex?
Strength or dex, your choice. Nope. So this large creature lands on top of you. You are knocked prone. As it lands on top of you, you take 12 points of bludgeoning damage plus 21 points of slashing damage.
I'm unconscious then.
All right. This creature lands on top of Treverin. You watch as he just crashes against the ground.
Oh, you know what? Hold on. Strength of grave.
Okay.
How much does that overkill you by?
5.
All right. When damage reduces to 0, you can make a charisma save. DC is 5 plus the damage taken. So,
So is it total damage taken, or is it just the damage of the last part that I took?
hang on. I'm going to look this up.
Not that it really matters. I don't think I can beat a 21 anyway, but
See, 'cause I thought it was overkill, so 5 plus the damage you take over your 0 HP.
to the grave, 5e. Sage advice. Let's see what they has to say.
The wording is kind of misleading both directions, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Tweets from Mike Merle says, yes, it's good for dealing with weenies, not so good for heavy hitters. The tweet he responded to from that is deleted. I'm gonna
So-
rule this. I'm gonna rule this as it's the blunt of the damage taken. The DC is
Okay.
5 plus the damage taken, so it's not like 7 hit points. Not like 7 damage it's reducing you. So it's the DC is gonna be 5 plus 33. So,
Okay.
Something I was reading too, Killy, is it's
Not
all
what I
the
clicked on.
damage that takes you to 1, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So minus 12, and then from the 21, whatever would take you from whatever you were at from that 21 down to 1 is what you'd have to beat for DC.
The way I would rule it, the way I would read it as far as this deadly leap is concerned, it's the bludgeoning and the slashing damage taken as part of one attack,
Yeah.
and so it would be combined into the total calculation of the DC, as opposed to say if he attacked you twice and the second attack reduced you to 0 hit points.
That's fine. There's no way I can beat that anyway, so.
Okay, so Treverin is knocked unconscious as the creature lands on top. So the second one is going to leap up and attempt to land on top of Kay and the horse. So the horse, you're going to have to either, Kay, you're either going to have to dexterity saving throw yourself off, or try to direct the horse to make a dexterity saving throw or strength saving throw.
Can I attempt to eat the brunt of it?
How do you choose to do so? This is a heavy creature attempting to land on top of you. Okay.
I'll just put a shield up and like, because it's just a giant barrier. So what if I just put a barrier up above me and the horse when it tries to come down? Is kind of my thought.
Okay. Here's what I'll say. The horse is going to try to, because he's not a fan of being landed on top on, is going to try to make his way, running away all the same. Not that it works. So, as the creature leaps up and attempts to land down on top of you, I will say that it pushes the horse prone and you kind of get knocked off of it. The horse is not going to take any damage because you shield it.
Okay.
I am going to say, however, that I'm going to have you take half damage since you're doing what you can to protect the horse.
Okay, that's fine.
My first thought when you said shield is literally the barrier comes up, it lands on top of you, and all 4 legs of the horses break
So-
simultaneous.
Half of this is going to be 7 points of damage for the bludgeoning and 9 points of slashing damage as this creature kind of pushes you to the ground. The horse is prone. You yourself are not.
I can deal with that.
And Treverin is unconscious. Droloff, what do you do? Oh, before you do anything, I need you to make an animal handling check.
Well, hey, so that deadly leap you can only use if it moves 15 feet.
It was right next to you, wasn't it?
Yep.
Okay. So I'll come back to you. The horse, the wagon is beginning to bolt hard. So it does not, in fact, do that damage to you, and it does not, in fact, knock the horse prone. What it is instead going to do is bite the horse,
I'll still try to shield it if possible.
and you can only shield yourself.
Well, no, it's a magical barrier I put up around me.
It's a magical barrier you put up around you, not the
Yeah,
horse.
yeah.
The horse
just
is the male.
knowing-
It's going for the horse.
Okay, never mind.
The horse is dead. Sorry. It bites into the leg of the horse and just rips it off. The horse kind of crashes down. Go ahead and make the dex save. All right. You land on your feet, but your horse is gone.
Okay.
All right. Droloff, the horse that's dragging the wagon looks like it's beginning to start bolting too. What, if anything, do you do?
Want to jump off and run over and help kill this thing next to Treverin.
Okay. While you jump off, the wagon starts bolting.
I figured that. Let's test out this great axe.
All right. Go for it.
I'm going to do Furious. Or what was it called again? Reckless attack.
All right.
Advantage.
All right. Crit. Sure.
And the second one.
20 hits. So both attacks will hit. Go ahead and roll damage. God, ow, fucking ow. All right. The first one you watch as a bit of flesh just kind of cuts across the creature. It reels back, almost falling on top of Treveran's unconscious body. So go ahead and roll your second attack damage. All right. You cut card into this creature. This creature's looking pretty bloody.
That ends mine.
All right. Treveran, make a death saving throw for me, please. 1 success. Okay. Your horse is unfortunately gone, and the other two are bolting.
All right. Well, back to the longsword. I'm gonna give this thing a slash.
And all right. As you shift over, by the way, this horse is bolted off the map. All right. The 26 and the 28 will both hit. And as you cut into the flesh of the creature, you watch as bits of blood begin to spurt near its chest. It rears back. Not
And
having
then I'm gonna give it a smite,
it. Alrighty.
and it is prone.
Alrighty. It falls prone.
And that'll be it.
Okay. It falls prone as you slash into it, half chewing the horse leg it has ripped off. Singe, you're up.
Mm. If it's prone, does it get an attack of opportunity on me?
No.
Okay. Then I'm going to run over to here. And I am going to cast Cure Wounds on Treveran.
This large creature is kind of covering over on top of him. But as it's doing so, as you reach out to try to touch him, just go ahead. It's going to be a low DC, but I'm going to ask you to make a acrobatics check.
Sure.
Good enough. All right, so Treveran, you get 9 hit points back,
Okay.
and you are prone. All right, Julie,
Does that
you're up.
reset the success failures again?
Yep.
I forget where we decided. Okay.
Yep.
I couldn't remember.
Yep, every time you get hit points back, that all resets. The exception to the rule is if for whatever reason you can't be stabilized or healed. All right.
Julie's going to run over to the one that is prone and attack it. Do I get advantage?
All right. Yes, because it is prone. Alrighty. 22 hits. You slice into the creature that you watch as it kind of shudders a little bit. It looks like it's about to just collapse over. 18 just hits. Go ahead and roll damage. Taking revenge for the horse, you cut across the hide of this creature. Bits of blood begin to kind of eke out towards its side, and it just kind of falls over onto its side, dead.
Okay, let's see. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. All right, I got 5 more feet of movement. I'm just going to move here. And I'm done.
Okay. All right. The creature who is next to Singe and Dralov. After having taken the hit from Dralov earlier, is going to move around, and he's going to attempt to bite into you. 14, I don't think beats your AC. It does not. You dump away before this large creature with its tortoise-like jaws just try to reach out to you, but you manage to duck back. Dralov, what do you do?
You get an advantage roll on that because that
Oh,
hits
fuck
you.
you, right. Okay, it does hit you. For 41 points of piercing damage.
That leaves me with 6.
That'll teach you to keep your mouth shut.
Hey, I'm trying to keep it the way it's supposed to be.
You have powerful morals. Okay.
I am
This
awful
creature.
good.
There you go. This creature bites hard into you. Your turn.
I'm going to recklessly attack. Great.
Okay. The 23 certainly hits. Alrighty. You cut hard into the creature's hide. It looks like it's about ready to keel over, but it's not quite out for the count yet. Alright. 23 hits. Go ahead and roll damage. Alrighty. As you finish off the creature, you take a moment to revel in this victory against this unknown foe, and you watch as the horses are just beginning to bolt further and further along with the cart down the road. What do you do, if anything? You're out of combat, but what do you do, if anything, as you try to catch up to them or let them go?
Julie will try to sprint after the horses.
Okay. I need you to make a acrobatics check for me.
Running is athletics, no?
Or athletics. Yeah, that'll work too.
Oops.
Got the first roll.
Yeah.
Alright. You keep pace with them. They're going to sprint ahead a little bit further. Go ahead and make a second athletics check for me as you try to sprint further. Alright. Is anybody following him, by the way?
I am.
Alright. Go ahead and make an athletics check from me, Dralov. Okay. Julie, you begin sprinting. And you watch as this little dwarf just begins to kind of sprint right past you. Dralov, make another athletics check. All right. Julie,
No way.
you do a double take. As you're sprinting, you watch this little dwarf with stubby little legs just gives you the middle finger as he kind of runs by and sprints right past you. He manages to grab the corner of the cart, leap himself up onto it, and rear back the cart so that horse stops. As he whinnies, you watch the other horse kind of stops, doubles back around, and realizes, oh, everything's okay. And you are about 15 feet away from the cart that the dwarf is driving. You just gotta stop, put your hands on your knees, and just take a moment to catch your breath, looking up in disbelief.
Yeah, I'm just side-eyeing Dralov. Like, he doesn't even ride back. He just walks back. He won't even get in the cart.
All right. You manage to recover the horses. You watch as running back around the corner is both Dralov and Julie. Julie is not in the cart. He's just looking kind of frustrated. And Dralov, in the meantime, just has this big, goofy smile on his face.
I'm going to check to see if Treveron's okay. Obviously, I see that he's up and conscious.
Yeah, I stand up, dust myself off, saying, "Yep, thanks for the heal."
He's about-
take
he's about-
a short rest.
Yep, he's about 9 hit points, okay? So, what do you guys do?
Short rest.
I guess
rest?
I'm gonna get up with Dralov.
Okay.
I get back up on my horse.
Okay. What do you do with the dead horse, if anything?
I don't really know what to do with the dead horse, so I guess
I-
leave it there.
I-
Go
look-
get a
look-
piece.
I look at Sindra and said, "Now there's some good eating." And point to the horse.
And you point toward what?
The dead horse.
Singe's gonna mosey on over.
Waste not, want none, am I right?
Hey, if there is an exotic food in this land, Singe will eat it.
Then why didn't you try the pickle?
Because it looked like goblin penis.
Okay.
That's not
Feel
an exotic
free to-
food in any land.
We can burn some hit dice.
You can burn some hit dice for a short rest. I think some of you guys
Alright.
are wanting to take a short rest. You can recover parts of the horse's food easily enough as your compatriots are resting. All right. So, for the rest of the journey there, you arrive within the city of Westbridge itself, and Westbridge itself is mostly a more of a caravan stop. It's not really this major hamlet. It's more of a stop for folks who are traveling kind of alongside the Otter River and trying to, especially to make trade with some of the elves who live in the nearby Crypt Garden Forest or other hermits in that area. The area is mostly just a gigantic inn surrounded by this wooden palisade fence, and there are a couple of different folks sitting by nearby stalls so that are hawking different goods and services. The what stands out is there appears to be a man selling all different kinds of potions, a couple of different kinds of potions. The inn itself, if you wander inside, is simply called the Highway, and the man inside is this rotund man who calls himself Markov. And the rooms are easy enough to come by. They're large and comfortable. The food itself in the inn is not especially glamorous. It's mostly simple meats and cheeses.
I bring in like a leg of horse and I'd be like, "Would you like to fry this up?"
Sure, man. He'll fry it up for you.
Killy, borrowing something from Baldur's Gate, I'm gonna rearrange our caravan to where I'm not on the side getting ambushed all the time. I'm gonna be behind the cart going forward.
You must gather your party before venturing forth. All right. So, you arrive in the small inn for the time being. Do you do anything while you're in town?
What time of day is it?
Since you guys took a short rest, by the time you arrive in town, it's just about before dusk. Same time you would have arrived in Red Larch.
Okay, I'll wait until tomorrow to sell those great axes then.
Okay. In the interest of time, I will say that we'll go ahead and just take care of that right away. They are kind of crude orcish great axes, but because this is a trader's post and weapons are always nice to come by, you have what, 6 in total?
7.
7. They'll offer you 100 gold for a lot of them.
That's 210 gold worth of great axes. I'll try to get them up to. They offer me 100.
Mhm.
I'll try to get them up to I don't know, 150. This great axes are expensive. You being cheap. Let's try to bump that up there, or
Make a
whatever
persuasion,
Julie says.
make a persuasion check. And yeah, they're not buying it. They're crude orcish great axes. It's 100 gold or bust.
I'll take the 100.
Okay. For your reference, I didn't do this too much in the first campaign, but after rereading through some stuff, the general rule of thumb is if you get weapons off of enemies, unless they're for whatever reason pristine, immaculate weapons, the general rule of thumb is if they are usable but somewhat crude, and if you try to sell them, they sell at half value. And
So
he's
noted.
actually offered you, yeah. So, and he actually undercuts you all the same, but
But not nearly as much as I thought. That's fine.
Killy, you
All
said
right.
this is a trading post?
Yep.
I'm gonna do some window shopping and see if there's any like quarterstaffs or a set of robes that may have like a +1 dex anywhere around.
There's not going to be any magic items around this area, but as far as quarterstaffs themselves go ahead and make a perception check. While you're kind of hawking around towards the end of the evening, you do see there's one elvish vendor who has some beautifully carved wooden staves nearby that he looks like he's trying to sell.
I'll approach them and take a gander at them.
Okay. Looking at across a lot of them, the elf will pipe up and say, "Ah, my staves have caught your eye, I see. Welcome to Ithafan's generous staff and works. The staves are made from the wood of the Crypt Garden Forest itself, handcrafted by yours truly. Does anything catch your eye?"
Uh, I'm just looking around, seeing your craftsmanship and seeing what all you have here. What kind of inventory you got?
He says, "The staves are created from some of the wood of the Crypt Garden Forest, though I must admit, for obvious reasons, that the enchanted variety is rare, and some of the wood elves who still roam the forest are not keen to allow high elves, not even high elves such as myself, access to the wood necessary to create their staves. However, these are immaculate quality and will last you quite a lifetime, should you choose to purchase.
Uh, you know what? I'm in a generous mood today. I'll do you have one that has any type of intricate dragon carving or
As a matter of fact, and he kind of reaches underneath the stall that he has and puts a staff out. The staff itself is carved to resemble, at the head of it, a dragon rearing back and breathing what looks like fire. The edge, the circular edge of the staff itself is carved to resemble, especially towards the end of the tip, what looks almost like a dragon's tail. And the tail itself looks almost like it's curled around the entirety of the staff itself. Like it's a dragon with this super, super long tail, almost kind of Chinese style.
So just the tip.
Just the tip.
just the tip? Um, I take a look at it and I kind of inspect its quality and I ask him how much for this.
He says, for this immaculately carved piece, it will run you about, silver 50.
Uh, I look at it and I say, you know what? I'll give you 2 gold for it.
Ah, how generous. I'm more than happy to have your patronage, my friend. And he bows and raises the quarterstaff as if it were a delicate weapon up to you.
Yeah, and I take it and I say, if you happen to come across anything that's a little more exotic, keep me in mind.
He says, what is it that you have in mind?
I don't know. Just if you happen to come across something that I don't know, I have a keen to dragon and things that are unique. So like I said,
Intriguing.
if you happen
I'll
to come
remember
across
your
something like that,
face.
yep,
What is
I
your name, my
appreciate it.
friend?
My name is Trevarin.
Trevarin. Thank you for shopping into the farms, and if I find anything, I'll be sure to keep an eye out, especially for you, my friend.
I do appreciate it.
All right. Do you have this quarterstaff? I can add it to your spreadsheet if you want. It'll function more or less as a simple quarterstaff.
I have a quarterstaff already in there.
Okay.
I'm trying to find something that gets me off that -1.
All right. Kent, were you about to say something?
Yeah. Because I'm this is like really my first time out the city and it's a trading post and I can ascertain that it's a trading post. I'm going to go around and would you say there's a lot of shops or like kind
The
of
most, kind of think of like a farmer's market. There's mostly
oh,
stalls that are kind of
okay.
covered by tents.
I'm just gonna roam around trying to talk to people, trying to you know like if there are any rumors about, if there are any if anybody's seen any of my kind before, if um uh, like what kind of not spectacular sights there are around the area, but just in general, like what are landmarks, around the general vicinity and whatnot.
Okay. As you're kind of talking to some of the folks in the area, they will share with you that the only rumor is that a a large green dragon known to inhabit Crypt Garden Forest has had a couple of sightings recently. This goes by the nickname of Old Grimjaw,
Eh,
and there have been more and more folks advised to stay away from the forest.
Um, I'm going to ask if has anybody been hurt or wounded or anything I can do in the town to help out while I'm here for the short period of time that I am.
They'll, as you're kind of asking around, browsing through the goods and everything, people will share Nobody's really been hurt. The dragon really doesn't do anything unless people venture too far into the forest. Tends to be kind of a lazy, but don't let her hear that they told you that. And so long as you kind of avoid the forest, in a worst case, too deep into the forest, then you don't have to worry too much about it.
Okay. I'll actually share that rumor with the guys and let them know. Just we should be on our guard. And
I gave you the wrong nickname. It's Old Gnawbones, not Old Grimjaw.
but I'll let them know that an evil dragon does prowl these woods, or deeper into the forest. And
I don't like the sound of that.
with that, I will. I guess I'll get ready to retire. Nobody's hurt. Nobody needs anything.
Okay. For your benefit, that particular forest, it's a little bit of lore, but it's not on your way.
Okay.
At least not the way you're attempting to head.
Just throwing it out there, just in case.
Just in case.
Singe tends to like to be prepared.
Mm-hmm. All right. What else do you do in town, if anything?
I mean, I'm good if you guys are good, I suppose.
You not want to go see if you can get you another horse?
I'm afraid that since this is like a trading post, there's not going to be really any horses that aren't already being in use.
If you ask around, the innkeeper will share that the best place to get any new horses would be up in Tribor, which is
Yeah.
the next place you're heading to.
That's what I kind of figured, just because trading posts typically don't have a type of stable, I guess, that don't have horses that aren't currently in use to travel goods.
Depends on the trading post.
Any orcs or half orcs around?
Make a perception check. You don't see any orcs. You do see one half orc briefly who looks like he's wearing some kind of barbarian-esque kind of gear. He is in the middle of drinking with a human. They're talking to one another. They look kind of focused.
Can I borrow that picture of the pale orc?
I don't have a picture ready, but just say
No,
that
no,
you
no, no.
have it.
I'm asking my who grabbed it off the other guy? I can't remember.
But you did. Or no,
No, no,
Kay
I
did.
didn't. I
K,
didn't.
K, that's right. You're
All
right.
right,
Right.
so
K,
Julie will ask Kay if he can have that.
Yeah,
Picture.
I'll hand it over to you.
All right, I'm gonna go over to the half orc and the other guy, the human,
Mhm.
and say, "Excuse me." And he waits to make sure that they're not gonna tell him to fuck off.
They look over. The half orc says, "How can we help you, stranger?"
Julie will speak to him in Orcish, and he'll show him the picture, and he'll say, "Do you know this Do you know who this is?" I'm trying to find him.
Mhm. Afraid not, my friend.
Thank you. Nods to the human and walks off.
All right. Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay. If you're staying in the inn, you otherwise get the benefits of a long rest. You recover, and unless there's anything else you want to do while you're in town, you begin otherwise making your way to the village of Tribor. And I should say it's actually a town. This is a full-on town, Tribor is. The town of Tribor is about a 2 days travel. So, if you're continuing on, I need you to make your first stealth check.
Okay.
Can we all stealth by?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just barely. On the first day, you travel along the cover. The weather, by the way, is starting to get a bit colder as you travel further up north. You are having to kind of bundle yourselves, especially for, well, Julie and Dreloff, you're used to colder weathers, and this is not unfamiliar to you as you begin to venture further north. The rest of you, especially you, Treveran, you're not used to this kind of weather. You're bundled up tightly on your horse as you're riding along. Go ahead and make your second stealth check of the roll of the time. Okay. I'm going to say with the benefit of that added crit. Oh no, that was a 6 and a 20. Oh no, you rolled that. I take it back. All right. With the benefit of the added crit, you managed to make your way over to the town of Tribor itself without any significant incident. As you arrive within the town itself, the town is actually very, very large, and it serves as a significant trading center for the bulk of the north, especially for goods making the way from the southern cities like Waterdeep and Neverwinter, all the way up to the northern cities like Mirabar and Silvery Moon. And the biggest thing you notice upon entering into the city itself is, aside from the stone-carved dwarven walls that surround the edges of the fairly sizable town, there are all the bulk of the guards that are kind of making the way across town. For the most part, seem like they're riding on top of ponies.
Seeing this, I'm going to turn Trail off and look. They're riding something your size.
Julie nudges Singe and says, making me hungry. Pony's a good meal.
So the town of Tribor itself is fairly sizable and has has quite a few horses to choose from if you choose to get more horses or replenish your horses in any meaningful way. It also has a number of notable shops, including the Cart and Coin, which is a general shop, Fohammer's Forge, the Happy Horse Ranch, which is where you can buy your horses, the Lion's Share, which is a bank, Marivold Pony Park, which is where you see mostly noblemen who are in the middle of riding around on different kinds of very expensive-looking horses. Oathweir's Harness Shop, Ransor's Open Road for wagons, the Tribor Travelers, which is a trade shop, Uldinathar's Arms, weapon shop, and Wainwright's Wagons.
I would like to buy a new horse, please.
Okay. You head over to the Happy Horse Ranch, and they're willing to offer you a beautiful thoroughbred horse for a riding horse if you wish for it.
Sure. How much?
This horse will cost you, as soon as I pull up my equipment detail, the horse itself is with the bridle and everything is going to cost you, especially for this kind of breed, about 90 gold.
Deal.
So get a horse back.
Fucking sweet. Not gonna ride next to Draloff anymore. No offense.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Tribor is where we turn east and follow the Desserin River to the Lost
Correct.
Peaks.
Correct.
All right, so we can sell the wagon. Why are we getting horses? Because we're gonna. Well, I guess we could keep the wagon and ride along the river.
Well, there's a
take the
town
boat.
east of us too that we can head to next to Desserin River.
All right. So we'll keep
Your
all
next
that.
location. Yep. There is a road over there, even though it doesn't show it on the map that I would have linked before Yarder. I know it's there because I've only looked at that detailed map dozens of times.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at now. Yartar is the town.
Yep.
And then after that, I don't know if there's a crossing point at all. But we could go to Calling Horns.
Yep.
And then
Yarder, yeah, you could follow along that side of the river there.
Killy, I'm gonna go to whichever shop has like some wintry clothes, like a hooded cloak or something that I can get to be a little warmer.
Sure. That would be at the Tribor Travelers, and they'll sell you traveling gear for winter clothes that will cost you about 10 silver pieces.
Okay, sounds good. I will go ahead and buy it.
Okay.
And put them on.
Alrighty.
Gilly, you mentioned that there were a lot of shops.
Yep.
Are there no temples in this town, or?
The one temple that you do come across seems to be a temple to what appears to be some sort of god of rangers and tracking. The name that you read across the nearby temple is a temple to Guerrand Windstrom.
I would like to go to the temple and just out of natural curiosity, be like, uh, who's this temple to? If if there are any clerics about, I'd like to, know more about this god.
They will share with you that Guerrand Windstrom was actually a mortal that was raised to demigod status by the goddess of nature Miliki after he slayed an avatar and several manifestations of Malar, who is a lesser evil deity of lycanthropes. And it is believed that his personage sleeps within the village of Tribor itself. The old legend is actually underneath a trio of trees to the west of the city itself. It's on a hillside known as Guerrand Slumber.
With that information, I'll thank them for, teaching me more about this religion, and I'll take my leave.
Alrighty. They wish you Guerrand's blessings upon the road. Alright. What else do you do, if anything?
You said there were traveling shops and stuff. Did any that happen to sell any kind of scrolls or potions?
The the Ransord's Open Road will sell potions. They have some regular healing potions available. They also have on hand, though at expensive cost, a potion of frost resistance, a potion of spider climb, and a potion of invincibility.
What would the potion of frost resistance cost?
The potion of frost resistance would he is offering for 200 gold.
With a nod and a wink and a smile, my Singe just goes too expensive for my blood and goes to leave.
Suit yourself, stranger. All right. What else, if anything?
Kay's always pretty much ready to hit the road, and everyone else is good. So
Yeah, I'll make my way back.
Okay. So first off, I assume you'll be staying overnight in town while you rest and buy your shit. So go ahead and give yourselves the benefits of a long rest. And then, sorry.
Oh, take your time.
All right. As you're traveling along the road, the next stop out of the Tribor village would be Yarder, which is only going to be about a day's travel. As you make your way along that road, go ahead and roll stealth checks for me.
no, Draloff, how dare you?
That's what I'm saying. Some of
So,
Fortunately,
Fortunately-
yeah, I know.
fortunately enough, the DC was 5. Because you're a major trading post, there's not going to be as many monsters near this area.
Thank God.
So, you actually over the course of the day's travel managed to easily make your way over to Yarder. And as you enter Yarder itself, it's a fortified city complete with stone walls surrounding it that sits just along the river edge. There are a number of keel boats that kind of sit along a harbor side towards the south of the city itself, right along the river itself. There are fairly tall buildings within the city itself, some as high as 4 towers. Inside the city itself, it seems to be mostly a fortified area meant for defense to protect the river itself. Presumably, as far as you can tell from anything suspicious that might be coming down the river itself. A couple of notable shops as you pass by include a shop for pickles, nuts, and food. There is a shop for maps, books, and folios, a shop for tailoring and fabrics, a shop for wine, a shop for arms and armor, a shop for trading, general trading store, a fish yard, and an expensive clothing store.
This is a proper small town.
It's a proper small town. It also houses on along one of the boats something called the Golden Goose Casino.
Well,
I
I
will
want to
go
check
into
on
the
the
book
wines.
house.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Kay.
Oh no, good. You're good. Good.
I was say I want to go into the bookshop. Look around.
Okay. The shop itself, you are introduced briefly, or he introduces himself, is run by an old-looking man with a big old white beard. And as you kind of enter in, he smiles, gives you a wink, and says, "Nice to see you." And he will briefly introduce himself as Eskrelindrar Lol.
You know what? I'm gonna tag along, seeing him go to the bookshop.
Okay. He is a very elderly-looking old man, almost kind of looks like a mage. Looks a bit old and feeble. Kind of almost appears like a silly, doddering old man.
I will bow and say greetings and kind of start looking around the shop.
There's actually a couple of, as you're kind of peering around the shop, let me ask you this. What is it specifically you're looking for?
I don't know yet.
Okay. As you're peering around the shop, then go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Okay.
So,
They're
the shop
books.
itself, they're books. Not your specialty, though. Standing out, you do notice there's a good chunk of books that detail quite a bit of history and knowledge, some dating back hundreds of years. And every once in a while, it looks like there might be maybe a couple of scrolls that he has on a back shelf that stand out. Looks like might be spell scrolls. And
Any books that I noticed with you said a history, any of them may contain history of the Feywild or like
as you're
you
looking
know,
around, you do manage to find one that contains history of the Feywild.
I'll ask him. What do you know about this book?
He looks up and says, "Ah, a general history of what the elves remember regarding their earliest years within the Feywild itself. Before before the majority of the high elves that we now know today had migrated within to the material plane."
Gotcha. So this is like ancient history of the Feywild, then. So,
Yes.
okay. All right. Now I'll kind of look around at it and then say, interesting, and I'll put it back because I'm not looking for ancient history.
Okay.
I just want to stroll around to see if anything catches my eye. I'm not really looking for anything in particular, but
Okay. You do note that he has some spell scrolls sitting on a back shelf. It looks like somewhere behind a desk, which he is in the middle of jotting down something within a multi-paged tome. You look around. Go ahead and make a perception check. You do see, out of the corner of your eye, just before you get ready to leave the store, there is a book that looks like it details the history of the rise and fall of the Ethereal Empire.
I will pick it up and ask him for how much it would cost for this book.
He looks at you, briefly looks down at the book and says, 3 gold.
I'll toss him 3 gold immediately.
Thank you.
And I'm also going to ask him about the spell scrolls behind him.
He says, "Well, I've got a few available to you. What are you in the market for?"
Oh, what do you got for sale?
He kind of peers around, fudging through a few of them, and says, "Oh, I've got a spell scroll of detect magic, spell scroll of knock, a spell scroll of looks like shocking grasp. Let's see, spell scroll of augury, and a couple of spell scrolls, it seems, of spell scroll of find familiar."
How much for the detect magic?
He looks around at it curiously for a brief second and says, that one would be about 150 gold.
You know what? I'll snag it. You never know when it might come in handy.
Okay, he will pass you the spell scroll. And I'll just pop that open so that you all have access to the rules for the spell scroll, especially the table for the DC. Detect magic is a first level spell for what it is worth. All right. Anything else?
Any orcs about?
Make a perception check.
And I want to go in the. I heard you say armory.
Come back to you. Julie, as out of the corner of your eye, you see wandering about near some of the nearby shops is a hunched figure, and he actually has a hood over his eyes, so you can't see his face. But based on the posture and the large build, you see this creature's trying to hide that he's actually a full-blown orc. But it's pretty obvious to anybody looking that this is a full-blown orc. And as you kind of look around, you notice the guards are kind of keeping a close eye on him too. But nobody's really doing anything yet because he's not in the middle of assaulting anybody.
He's in his shop, or he's out front of his shop?
He's in front of a stall. It looks like he's examining a dagger, and the person who's kind of behind the stall looks a little on the nervous side.
Julie will walk up and stand next to him, looking at the wares as well. He'll give the shopkeeper, the guy running the cart, a wink, and he'll say lowly, so that softly, so that not a lot of people hear in Orcish. Excuse me, you don't know me, but may I ask you a question?
He looks up at you briefly, and you hear, "I do know you.
Oh,
What is your question?"
does Julie recognize him? Or is
Make
word of my deeds preceded me?
another perception check for me.
Wow, to become known amongst the orcs, that's awesome. That's like a dream.
His
Oh, well.
his face is hidden. He's doing what he can to conceal his face from you.
Julie kind of opens up the parchment, holds it down low so that the shopkeeper doesn't see, and he kind of shows it to the guy, and he says, "Do you know this pale orc? Where I might find him?"
What business do you have here with the pale orc?
Julie then does actually turn and look at him to catch his eye if he can, and says firmly, "My business with the pale orc is mine. I ask a simple question. If you don't know, you don't know."
He, keeping his gaze hidden from yours, says, "We can talk, but not here. Find me later at the inn."
Julie just nods and walks off, folding the paper up and putting it in his pocket.
The glowing gem inn. Find me there, and he will put the dagger back down in front of the stall and walk off.
Oh, if he walks off first, then Julie will wait a moment and pretend like he's looking, and then offer a good steal or something to the merchant.
Okay.
When Julie walks away, he's going to try to catch a glance at the guards. Are they watching me now too?
Go ahead and make an insight check. They're kind of keeping a close eye on you. They're more concerned about the other orc, though.
The gemstone inn, he said.
The glowing gem inn.
Glowing gem. Okay. Well, I know what I'm doing tonight.
All right. What else do you guys do, if anything?
I was going to browse around in the armory.
Okay, that's right. So the armory itself is called Hasklar's Arms and Armor. And actually, as you enter into the shop, To either side of the shop, you see the spectral form of two ghostly men holding the spectral form of two spears. Peering up over the shop, the head of the shop, you see a young man who says, "Welcome to Haskellers. What can we get you?"
One, I'm gonna sell the two-handed battle axe in my bag,
Okay.
and two, I was gonna look for any dwarvish style great axes.
Okay. So as selling the battle axe, you'll get full cost for it for 10 gold.
Nah.
And if you're looking for a dwarvish style battle axe, they do have one available. It'll cost you 30.
Yeah, okay. I'll take the dwarvish style great axe.
Okay. They, if you're willing, they will trade you the orcish one that you have on your person right now, as well as the battle axe off your hand, and give you the dwarf one.
That'll work.
So you'll make that trade. You turn around. These two ghosts are just guarding the edges of the forge itself. All right.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Anybody else doing anything else?
I did want to grab some wine before we left.
Okay. The wine shop. The wine shop also offers fresh water, which has been imported and from which you are shared with is imported from some frozen ice that is closer up to the north. They have different vintages and spirits of both dwarvish and elvish variety.
I've drinking Dwarvish. I haven't tried Elvish. Let's see what Elvish they have.
Okay, they will offer you an elvish vintage of fine wine that is close to over 100 years old. And they will sell it to you if you're willing for 20 gold.
Sure. I've never tried it before, and I'm curious.
Okay, it is a rich, fine wine as you taste it.
Perfect. I will snag it with me.
Okay.
I will save it for a special occasion.
Alrighty. You pocket the wine. What else are you guys doing, if anything?
I'm gonna check out the gambling establishment.
Okay. So the gambling establishment is a casino that is actually where's that spot at? Shoot, where's that? Sorry, bear with me a moment.
Oh, do not apologize.
Oh, there it is. All right, so the tavern or the casino itself is actually on this big sort of tugboat that sits, or this big boat that just kind of sits along galleon, I guess, that sits along the river. It is called the Golden Goose Casino, and you're not bothered too much by the guards that are out on the outside of the casino. As you enter in, there are some very richly dressed, almost noble-looking folks who are in the middle of gambling. You can see some of them are rolling dice, some of them are playing cards, some of them are in the middle of a table with what looks to be some sort of spinning wheel, and this ball is bouncing between the bits of the wheel itself, trying to discern. And it looks like they're trying to make bets on where the ball is going to land.
Oh, I'll approach.
Okay. You hear a guy yell down, 30 gold on black. And the ball bounces, lands on red. He curses and just walks away from the table.
I look around and I say, why was this gentleman so upset?
If you lost 30 gold on the drop, you'd probably be pretty upset too.
How does this game work?
They explain to you it's basically roulette.
Yeah, I know, I got it. I'm intrigued.
So,
I'm intrigued,
okay.
and I'll go about placing a bet.
Okay. In the interest of avoiding some sort of weird role playing,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going to have you roll a d20. If you roll odds, you gain money. If you roll evens, you lose money. So how much you putting down?
Oh, 25 gold.
Okay, 25 gold. Um, evens you lose money, odds you gain money. If you happen to roll a natural one, you double it, or excuse me, you quadruple it. If you happen to roll a natural 20, you lose it all. Well, you lose it all anyway, but if you happen to roll a natural one, you quadruple your gains. I'll say.
All right.
Just roll a straight d20. Okay. You gain. Would you put down 25?
Yeah.
All right. You gain 50. So additional 25 back.
Okay.
So
Okay. I like the sport. Seems fun.
okay. So you spend some part of the evening gambling.
Okay. And with that, and I'll make my way back to the guys.
Okay. So it's starting to get kind of late into the evening. What do you guys do?
Is there anywhere I can buy like trinkets made of animal bone here?
You look around. You do find there's there's someone who's hawking some simple trinkets for good luck or anything. And most folks are kind of just avoiding his stall, it looks like. But yeah, there's a guy selling some simple trinkets.
Does he have anything with elk or tiger bone on?
He has one that looks like it has a couple of elk bone. There's a simple, kind of looks like it kind of looks like a leather helmet that has elk antlers that have been tied to it.
Hmm. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll carve me something out of the elk bone.
Okay. It'll cost you 2 gold to get it.
Okay.
All right. Anything else?
Mm,
That's it for me.
nothing.
Okay.
It's at this point I should ask: does Drelloff realize yet where exactly we're going?
Nope.
He's being told where to go by Julie, I'd assume.
Julie's kind of leading the way.
Okay. I'm just along for the ride. I'm just kind of curious. All right.
Sure. All right. Assuming you're not doing anything else, I would assume you all then attempt to bed down within the inn, the Glowing Gem Inn. The inn itself is small and is run by a beautiful young brunette woman that is adorned with a white dress and flowers kind of daintily placed along her hair and around her dress. Very kind of hippie like. But as you enter into the inn and sit kind of off in a corner in the common room, Julie, you do see the hooded, hunched figure kind of just huddled over in a corner somewhere.
Julie will go to the bar, get a drink, have a few sips while he checks the place out. Does anyone look like they're watching the orc?
Make an insight check. It's for the most part, it's hard to tell if anybody's keeping a close eye on him. As far as you can tell, most folks are sticking to their own business. It's not
Julie,
a particularly occupied or large place.
Julie, it's probably why he picked it. Julie will walk over and gesture to an empty seat at his table.
Okay. Are you walking over to him and asking him to join you and your compatriots?
No, I'm walking over to sit at his table, and
Okay.
I gesture to the empty seat next to him.
Okay. He
As if to
gestures with his
say,
hand. He gestures with his
Julie,
hand as if for you to sit.
Julie sits.
Okay. He pulls the hood of his. A few moments pass, and he pulls the hood back away from his eyes, just enough that it keeps his brownish sort of skin covered. But as he pulls it back, Julie, you get a closer look, and you recognize who this is. Macuse, before she passed away, had a son. who had passed on the legacy, who is supposed to have taken on the legacy of the elder shaman of the tribe. His name was Ornak. And you remember Ornak as being, during the course of the warband, he was kind of a lithe, sort of not especially strong or bulky sort of creature. Still, as you see him now, pretty bulky, strong fella, but he was more the sneaky opportunist more than he was charge in headlong, kind of like you or your rival were. But as he pulls the hood away, he gives you a brief smile and he says, "Much has passed since your exile."
Julie grabs his arm, not like in a familiar, friendly way, and actually smiles, and he says, "It's good to see you. Haven't seen a friendly face long time."
Grabs your arm back and shakes it hard and says, "It's rare to see a friendly face anymore."
He said, Julie will grow a little, not somber, but maybe more serious, and say, "You should know. Thudrock is done. I finished him."
So I've heard. Unfortunately, that may have only hurt us.
How so? Maybe
Well,
because I put Glimpse in charge. He actually came after me. Couldn't even get his spear out of his holster.
he shakes his head and says, "What an idiot. You Glimpse always charged headlong like a slave to Thadrock's will. But no. After your exile, the tribe had gone on to attempt to expand its own territory. During a particularly nasty raid, Thadrock thought to overtake a village far to the south. I know not the name. It was a small village that was very enriched with different wealth and food. It would make well for conquering for the long winter. However, the village itself was protected by a wizard of some power, who used a terrible spell that obliterated nearly half of our warriors. The brazen attack ended in little more than disaster. So we
Dodrock
fled.
was all. Oh, Julie will just shake his head and say, "Dodrock was always acting foolishly, too rash. Never thought through what happens after the attack."
Agreed. And never the foresight to think much ahead. Simple, foolish. The tribe returned, broken and beaten. Thadrock attempted to rally them, and sought to seek strength elsewhere. It came in the form of a pale orc who wandered in from the north, along with a few other of his tribesmen. They called themselves members of the Frigid Wing clan. The pale orc named Gilladran challenged Thadrock to a duel of combat and managed to defeat him. Not only did he exile Thadrock, but many others who closely followed Thadrock's own will left with him. For those of us who remain within the clan itself, we are no longer truly the Scorched Eye. By all accounts, it exists as little more than individual war bands of Thadrock's minions out amongst the countryside. The Frozen Wing clan. What did I say? Frigid or Frozen? Frigid Wing.
Frigid Wing.
Yep. The Frigid Wing clan now exists where our home is in the Trollmoors, and has expanded its influence nearly to Silvery, stopping just shy. The Pale Orc, he fights with an unknown force, and does not revel in battle like any orc should, any true orc. It's cold, calculating, unfeeling.
But what kind of leader is he? Does he grow the tribe, make us stronger?
Strength, yes, but only to his unbeaten will. He bends down, says, "He hoards the treasure for himself, all the riches, taking the best of the pieces. He never leads the tribe itself, always leading from the back, throwing in the tribe as bait." And he spits the word as he says it.
He keeps prizes that he doesn't earn.
He shakes his head and says, "Any orc who tries to hide it gets found out. I don't know how, but they get found out. And he takes it by force, if not handed over willingly. More than a few of our clansmen have died at the end of a sharp blade, usually from his minions that seem to follow his will unquestioningly.
Has anyone stood up to him?
They haven't lived." His men are searching for me, and I'm doing what I can to hide.
Does Groom still cast his eye upon the tribe? Or are they worshipping some frozen god of this pale orc?
He says, "Grumsh is the only leader of Grumsh was I. I seek a way to restore honor to the tribe."
Julie grabs his arm again and says, Grooms is watching us, brother. He has uh, pulled me in with these other travelers. He goes, they're not orcs, but they're good fighters. He goes, I've seen much success, claimed many prizes in my adventures with them so far. He goes, more will come, and with its strength, then we shall see this Geladran the White and his frigid wing clan.
He says, "What is it you seek now?"
Ah, be truth, I don't know. After our beating Thodrock, I didn't know what to do next. So, one of my new friends had something they needed to do. I stood by him. I'm taking them back to where our tribe actually is. We go that way. He seeks something else amongst the dwarfs, some shards of power. I know not.
He stops a moment and nods and says, "If you find something of use, it may aid the tribe. Do not hesitate to swing by, but in secret. The old,
Does
the
he
old
mean
grave."
swing by here or?
No, he says, "Swing by Mother's grave, and if you can, find a way to send knowledge to me. I visit there I don't know, remember what the term would be for every Tuesday night to pay respects."
It'd be like a fortnight.
Yeah.
I tell him, 3 rocks shall be our sign. Three rocks touching on by the grave will be the sign that I wish to speak. I'll be there the following night.
Understood.
So keep heart, brother. Go. Keep your eyes and ears open. Go. Groups will show us the way. For now, remain in this Geladran's good graces and learn what you can. He goes, while I seek power.
Good. I'm expected to return soon, but we'll look for your sign. Bless you, brother."
Julie gives him another good shake. Whatever
All
the
right.
orcish equivalent of a hug is.
It basically, it would basically be a sort of a fist bump almost, but with your arms.
Yeah, we'll do that.
So,
That's cool.
all
That's macho. That's good.
all right. He does this macho sort of fist bump dealy. Takes the ale, swigs it down, and says, "I must be off before the stinking humans in this town catch too much of my scent."
Hey, Groomside, watch your path.
He nods, gets up, and walks out of the inn.
Julie orders another drink. He orders another 2 drinks. He's double fisting. he comes back to the rest of the party. He seems like happier than you've seen him be in a long time.
Okay.
I turn to Julie and say, "Girlfriend of yours?"
Ah, no, that's
can't-
not a girl. Unlike dwarves, you can tell orc sexes apart. And Julie nudges you like good-naturedly.
Singed turns around and he goes, and you'd be surprised at how different they taste.
Oh my god.
Julie nods enthusiastically like he knows.
Kay's just gonna do his best, but that's none of my business. Sip on his mug. And kind of go about his day.
Okay. All right. So, if you're doing anything else in particular within Yoder, I'm going to have you guys go ahead and give yourselves the benefits of a long rest, though I don't think you've actually done anything since. Unless there's anything else you want to do in town, we'll continue on to, in the interest of time, because the next stop is basically just a big inn. I'm going to have you guys make 5 subsequent stealth checks all in a row, and at the end of every stealth check, or any possible encounter, you would gain the benefits of a long rest.
All right.
So, let's start by having everybody make the first stealth check. The DC
Power
starts.
5.
Yep, the DC starts low, so you're still okay. It climbs up though. So the first night of travel goes by uninhabited. Go ahead and make your second stealth check of the night. All right, that'll do it. So, is that one of you guys? Bear.
Maybe bear.
Okay. Kent, go ahead and roll D100 for me. Alrighty. Okay. So, in this particular instance, the horses are off, kind of tied up to a tree, and are in the middle of napping, as is the cart. Oops. There we go. I'm just going to drag that off to the side so we don't have it there. All right. So, this happens somewhat late at night. While you are all parked off the side of the road and are in the middle of eating around a campfire, I want everyone to go ahead and make a perception check for me. All right. Singe and Treverin, with your closely honed instincts, you hear something crackling in the brush around you. And you look over, and there's this brief image that just disappears. And you look over in that direction. You hear crackling over next to you in another direction. You look over, and you see another figure briefly. And it disappears briefly. And as you look in front of you, kind of readjusting your direction, you see. Whoops. As long as you don't hit the wrong hotkey. Walking out of the nearby brush are the forms of 2 not really shambling, but very clearly dead-looking dwarves, despite those tokens, that begin to shamble forward, especially in Julie's direction, with a bit of vengeance in their eyes. I need everyone to roll initiative.
Julie, why does everything out here hate you?
Don't know. I'm such a friendly guy.
Dreloff, you recognize these 2 dwarves. They're not your parents or anything like that, but you do recognize them, and you don't know them personally, but you do recognize them as former kinsmen. Treverin, what do you do?
Oh, And I could tell they're definitely going after Julie.
It well, make an insight check.
Yeah, say because they're kind of far away, so it's.
Yeah, you think so.
I turn to Julie and go, Julie, are these more friends of yours? I mean,
Don't know.
I understand you're friendly, but come on.
I've killed lots of dwarves. Could be anyone. Don't know any necromancers. Well, he wouldn't have said that. Don't know any dark wizards. Whatever he
Stupid.
thinks to call them.
There we go. That would be the fire.
I move up to here and see if they still gaze on him or did they change their focus to me?
They are especially focused on Julie, but if you're in the way, they're going to keep an eye on you and look like they're not going to let you stop them.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not exactly in the way between them and Julie. I'm seeing
Yep.
if. Okay.
They're focused on Julie, but it looks like they're going to push their way through all of you if they have to.
Hmm. All right. Let's see. You know what? Right in front of this guy, I'm gonna cast Mold Earth to make a big pit.
Okay.
At least to make it hard for him to walk forward. Just to see what he does. And that'll
Okay.
be my turn.
And you're going to put it right here?
Yeah, right in that area. Yep.
Alrighty. Julie, what do you do?
Julie, seeing that, Julie's gonna use his longbow and attack that guy. Try to draw him into the pit.
All right. You fire the longbow at him and you actually hit. Go ahead and roll damage. Okay. It does a little bit of damage. You watch as the arrow just kind of sinks into the dwarf's body. It just kind of looks at you with an angry glare.
Julie kind of like taunts it. Roar!
You do have a second attack.
Oh, I'll shoot him again.
That hits. All right. You hit him twice. Both arrows right into the dwarf's body. It just looks at you angrily, like it's happy it found you and is getting ready to just destroy you.
Bring it, Chumley. Julie stays where he is.
All right. Dreldoff, you're up next.
I'm just going to move over, stand by the van, and hold my.
Okay. The creature is going to sidestep the pit because it has an intelligence of 13. Moving over in this direction. And as it looks over in your direction, Julie, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw. You are paralyzed until you take damage or until the end of his next turn. You are also considered frightened of the target. You can repeat the saving throw at the end of your turns with disadvantage. All right. And the other one is going to move. It's actually going to move right up next to UK since you're kind of in the way. And it's just going to attack you with its two fists.
Well, think again.
Oh, yeah? So I take it. Okay, 19's not going to hit. Second
No.
attack. 18's not going to hit.
Nope,
All right.
I have a 20 AC with my shield and sword.
Okay. Finally, the one that moved that has now looks like Julie is kind of frozen in fear. You watch as the dwarven creature just takes the arrows that it got shot with, pulls them out, and there's an undead necrotic something or other that causes its hit points to that causes the wounds to seem like they just kind of close up and they never happened.
Nice.
So that's that. Okay, you're up.
Well, I'm gonna give it 2 smacks.
27 lands, 12 does not. You slash into the creature, it rears back. Out of my way!
And I might as well make it sit.
Okay, that's necrotic damage, force damage, force damage.
Force damage.
Okay. Alright, you knock it on its ass. Alrighty, you done for your turn?
That's it.
Alright. Sin, you're up.
Did I just hear the one talk?
Yep.
I'm going to move down and see if I can actually talk to the creature. And
What
I'm
do you
going to
say?
start off by saying, why are you doing this to my friend?
Your friend slaughtered me and my kind without hesitation. There is only one response to this. 'Tis death.
Last time, this I don't know if this would take insight or really knowing out of game. Why is it that you have not passed on to the dwarven, the dwarven, oh god damn it, afterlife?
I'll tell you what. Go ahead and make either an Arcana or a Religion check.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot bear, at least not at the moment. Your mic was cutting through the Roll20 app earlier, though, but I'm reading on my end. All right. With that religion check, based on what he has said, based on the nature of this creature, it is clearly an intelligent undead creature. In your studies, you have familiarized yourself with what a revenant is. A revenant is created from the soul of a mortal who met a cruel and undeserving fate that claws its way back into the world to seek revenge against the one who wronged it. The revenant has 1 year to exact its revenge. If it fails to kill its adversary after 1 year, or it or when the adversary dies, then the revenant will crumble to dust.
Okay.
So based on what he has said, based on what these guys are doing, you get the sense that these two creatures have sworn vengeance upon Julie and want him dead.
With that said, I know I haven't done any action. I'm trying to talk to it real fast. With that said, I'm going to say to the dwarf, or the revenant, I'm going to say, was it he alone who killed you?
Yes.
So just him. He came into your homes one evening and slaughtered just you. There was no one with him.
Look, friend. Murderer. And he's done talking to you.
I turn undead.
Are you going to turn undead?
Mm-hmm.
All right, he's immune.
Okay.
All right. Treverin, you're up.
Okay, since he is. Since this one attacked Kay, I am going to hit him with Firebolt.
Okay.
And miss, probably.
Yep, it goes sailing over his head. You would
I
have
hate
disadvantage on
that
the roll
spell.
because he's prone and anyway. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else for your turn?
No.
Okay.
I can't think of anything at the moment.
All right. Julie, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw for me, please. And I need you to make it with disadvantage. You are still frightened and paralyzed.
Yay.
Actually, you're not even frightened until after the paralysis ends, so I misread that.
Right.
All right. Drelloff, what do you do?
Hold action.
Okay. The one who is prone is going to get up. and attempt to punch you 2 more times, Kay. Hitting you both. Well, I assume this you're going to use shield or something.
Yeah, I'll burn shield.
Okay. You block both attacks with the shield. All right. This one is going to move up next to you, Julie, and is going to strike you twice with its fists. First attack has advantage because you're paralyzed. That'll hit. You're going to take 9 bludgeoning damage from the fist because he has sworn vengeance upon you. You're going to take an extra 16 points of bludgeoning damage. You are no longer paralyzed because you have taken damage, but you are frightened. All right. And then it's going to make a second attack against you. This one is not going to be with advantage. 17 will not beat your armor class. All right. Kay, you're up.
I'm gonna smack this fool.
All right. 27 lands, 11 does not. One thing I forgot to mention, the one you hit earlier, some of his wounds begin to close. So,
It's fine.
Okay.
I'll hit him again. I don't care.
alrighty. 13 points of damage to him. You slice into him. You watch as bits of dried, coagulated blood just begin to kind of drip out. Sin, you're up.
Hold on. Just check something. Okay. Question. Can I make a dash action and a bonus action on the same turn?
Yes.
Okay. Then with straight up dash, the creature is not engaged with me yet, correct?
He's technically within engaged distance of you. That said, he doesn't look like he cares too much about you right now.
Okay. Then here's what I'm going to do. Hold on. Let me.
The horses, for what it's worth, are spooked out of their mind, but they're tied up and they can't go anywhere.
Right. Hold on. I'm going to take a dash action. And I'm going to go that far for half the movement.
Mm-hmm.
Should be about there. And then I'm going to turn back around and cast Sanctuary on him.
Okay.
And then
That was just a move. That was just a move to go there for 30 feet. Yeah.
yeah, but I've got the other 30 feet to go
30
yet.
feet. Okay.
Yeah. And then I'm going to literally go another 30 feet away from that, and I will have cast Sanctuary on him as a bonus action.
Okay. Any creature
I'll
who
cast it.
targets a water creature with an attack or harmful spell must first make a wisdom save. On a failure, they choose a new target or lose the attack. Okay.
So let me get up here. Alright.
Alrighty. Alright, Treverin, you're up.
Noticing Droloff is not really into this fight, I'm gonna turn to him real quick and say, is there any reason why you're not engaged here? Because you're usually one of the first ones to jump into the fire.
I don't attack kinsmen.
How do you know these are your kinsmen?
'Cause he's right
They're
here.
dead.
I know them from the clan.
But they are dead.
Still clanmen.
They're no longer who they once were.
Alright.
Then,
What else do you do?
yeah. Since that doesn't seem to be getting me very far, I'm gonna take a shot at him and you know what? Let's just see if I can make this hit at least once tonight.
14 hits.
Yay! I completely wasted spell.
And it looks like he really doesn't like fire. So you watch as he kind of rears back, looks in your direction quite angrily, but can't do anything about it in the immediate. All right, you done for your turn?
Yep.
All right, Julie, you are frightened of the creature next to you.
Okay, but that doesn't keep me from attacking it. Only moving closer to it.
You have disadvantage on attack rolls while he's within your line of sight, and you cannot move closer to him, which doesn't matter because he's next to you. So you can still attack him, but you're going to have disadvantage on the attacks.
I'll use the fetish, and I will attack him to
Okay.
kind of negate that.
All right, so it'll be straight rolls then. 20 hits. 18 hits. All right, you cleave into the body of the dwarf twice. The undead dwarf twice. He rears back a little bit and curses in Dwarven.
And there went my sanctuary.
I'm going to action surge to do it again.
Yep, sanctuary's gone. All right.
I'm action surging. Sorry.
Yep. So, yep, crit.
I'm gonna roll the damage first.
All right. You cleave hard into him on the first on the third swing. Alrighty, and then 18 hits. Go ahead and roll damage. All right. A little less hard on the other swing. You get a couple of really good cuts into him, but there is an unnatural force that is keeping this creature desperately trying to assault you. At the end of your turn, go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw to try to shake the fear.
Wisdom saving throw,
Yes, sir.
and that's with disadvantage, correct?
Yes. Yeah, you're still frightened. All right.
All right.
Draw off anything.
Hold action.
Okay. The Revenant next to UK is going to just punch you twice, or attempt to. Missing both times.
Woo woo.
All right. And then the one next to you, Julie, is going to attack you twice. Missing both times. All right. Okay, you're up. One more thing. The one that took the fire bolt does not look like his wounds recover. The one, however, that just got sliced up by the sword looks like part of his wounds begin to recover.
Okay. See, because I've had enough of this clown. I'm gonna flip out to my greatsword
Shing!
and give him 2 good thwacks here.
Go for it. Both hit attacks will land. Go ahead and roll damage. All right. You cleave into him hard. You watch as he reels back. He's looking kind of hurt, but there's an unnatural force that is keeping him going, as if fueled by rage.
Okay.
Julie, Julie. Kelly, I'm sorry. What damage did Julie take?
You haven't taken any yet.
Well, then how am I not paralyzed?
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, you hit him a while ago.
That's right, because I rolled the extra 46 and everything. Hang on. Find the chat channel here.
I just realized that when I went to check my hit points, I'm like, well, wait a minute. Why am I still at full hit points?
You took a total of 25 points of damage.
Does that include the -3 per attack?
No. So 22 points of damage.
All right. I'll just mark it down.
Okay. All right, Kay, 2 swings to the greatsword. You got your damage in. Are you done with your turn?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. Sind, you're up.
Well. Seeing as how my plan did not work out the way I intended it to, I will turn around and move to here and cast, that's actually a great question. Shit. Hold on.
Spiritual weapon.
I could. Let me see. I was up here, right? Let me just see how far. I'm just going to try get in closer range to attack.
Okay.
And that's it.
Alrighty. Trevarin, you're up.
Seeing that the fire damage seems to be the way to go, my favorite target here, I'm gonna hit him with firebolt again.
All right, go for it. That hits. Roll damage. Again, very much does not like that, but he's still standing.
Okay.
All right, Julie, you're up.
I will attack him again.
Okay.
Now I have disadvantage though, right?
You would have disadvantage because you're frightened. 14 still hits. Alrighty. And 10 does not.
Okay. I don't want to give him a free shot, so yeah, I'll stay where I am.
Okay, make a wisdom save.
Actually, I'm going to second wind, and then I'll make
Okay.
a wisdom.
Sure. All right, 13 hit points back, and then go ahead and put that wisdom save. Nope, still frightened.
Alrighty.
Draw off. All right, draw off anything.
Hold action.
First off, this one next to UK is not going to let this opportunity pass by, badly hurt as he is, and he's actually going to make his way down over towards Julie. Go ahead and make an attack of opportunity if you wish.
Yes, please.
Crit.
Yes, please.
All right. So both of them making the way down to Julie. They're both going to attack him. First attack. 20. Second attack. 14. The 20 is certainly going to hit you. So 10 reduced to 7 plus an additional 15.
Yikes.
The second one. 19 is certainly going to hit. 18 is not. That's 12 reduced to 9 plus an additional 5. At the end of their turn, you watch as the one immediately to your left is going to heal himself up a bit. Julie's looking pretty badly hurt now. Okay, you're up.
Alrighty, so I'm going to charge around the fire to this spot.
Mhm.
I'm going to use my bonus action to curse him.
Okay, Hexblades
Hexblade's
or
curse.
all right.
And I'm going to try and get him the hell off Julie.
Okay. 25 hits, 10 does not.
Okay.
All right. And the extra damage is what kind of damage?
I don't think it says. Let me check though.
Bonus action. Target is cursed for 1 minute. The curse ends early. If the target dies. You gain bonus to damage rules. Okay, it's just going to count it as slashing damage for this greatsword then. All right.
Yeah, I think so.
So 16 points against him. He reels back a little bit and looks at you with a bit of anger in its eyes, but it's not really worried about you right now. It's more focused on Julie at this point. All right. Anything else for your turn?
Nope, that'll be it.
Okay. Send, you're up.
I will close to here. And I will. Hold on. Just check one thing. And then I will cast this.
Okay.
And I will attack as my bonus action, and I will attack the closest revenant.
All right, go for it. 24 hits. All right, 7, and don't forget to add the D4 radiant.
Yeah, I'm doing D4 right now.
Alrighty. The creature is injured and is looking like he's almost ready to collapse, but he is still standing. All right, Treverin, you're up at the top of the round.
Seeing my guys now getting kind of good with this group, I'm going to move to here. And what I'm going to do is, you said these are dwarfs, right? So they're
Yep.
not taller than 5 feet?
Nope.
Okay. Then I'm going to cast that right underneath this guy, create a 5-foot hole to make him fall all the way down.
Okay. He falls down right in front of you, Julie. You still see him, but he is now 5 feet underneath you. All right. Anything else for your turn?
Nope, that'll do it.
Okay. Julie, you're up.
Is using a potion a bonus action or a regular action?
Regular action.
All right, Julie's gonna pop the potion of greater healing that he
Okay.
has.
44 plus 4.
That's 44 plus.
All right. Yeah, that's 8 and 4, 12 hit points back.
Yeah, that's not enough. And then, well, geez, if I move, I'm gonna get smacked by both of them. The one in the hole, can he hit me?
Not if you leave. The one next to you can. The other one next to you up north of you.
Yeah, if using that potion was my action, then as a I really don't have a bonus action to take, so I'm going to just kind of hang out.
All right. Draw off anything.
Nope.
Okay. This one who's in the
Nah,
hole.
you know what, Kelly? Can I change my mind with that?
Yeah, what do you do?
Which one's in the hole?
The one immediately to your left.
All right, and if he can't opportunity attack me, I'm gonna take a full move away from the other one.
Okay. Okay.
All right, go ahead and give him his opportunity attack, I guess.
Yep.
Just rolling the dice here.
Nope. It does not hit. All right.
Okay.
You flee. The creature who is inside the hole, first off, he restores a bit of the damage that he took. The one who took the radiant damage does not. So this one is going to climb out of the hole, or attempt to climb out of the hole. And does not. He is stuck under there. The one next to you, Kay, is going to punch you. Or attempt to, anyway. One crit.
First
crit
one
miss.
will hit.
All right.
Ow.
13 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And that's it for their turn. Kay, you're up.
I'm gonna smack the one in the hole.
Okay.
That's what she said.
Both attacks were named. Well, 15 and 14. Okay. You hit him twice with the sword. Bits of energy, dark energy, begin to kind of dance across the blade. They're not as strong against this creature, but they do full damage. So, all right. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. Singe, you're up.
Well, since Julie unintentionally keeps fucking up my things and she try to heal him and help him, I'm just going to attack the dwarf again.
Okay.
The
Before we
wrecking
forget,
again.
Julie, roll a wisdom saving throw with disadvantage for me, please. Actually, not with disadvantage, because the one you're frightened against is down in the hole. Now you can't see him.
Down in a hole.
All right, you're no longer frightened.
Oh, good.
So, as an action, I am going to attempt to hit him, which I
Okay.
do not.
Nope.
And I will cast a healing word on Julie.
Okay. 4 hit points back to Julie. Done for your turn, Singe?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Treverin, you're up. Okay. assume he's on the phone or something.
Sorry, getting a little tired and wanting to go back to sleep. I'm gonna move there, and I'm gonna hit this guy with magic missile level 3.
Okay.
So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Wow. 5, 8, 10, 14, 17 points of damage. He looks like he's on his last legs, but he's not quite out for the count yet. All right. Anything else for your turn?
Nope. I'm gonna sit here and laugh at the guy in the hole. That's
Okay.
it.
Julie, you're up.
Sorry, just taking a moment. Going to. How badly? Oh, let's see, the one in the hole. The one I can see. Can I shoot him?
Yeah.
Well, no, that's not going to help me. It doesn't do enough damage, and they appear to be healing. Geez, good question. Now, all right, I'm gonna move. The one in the hole. Will I get advantage on the attack?
Nope. If
Well,
height advantage doesn't mean you get an advantage on the attack.
I'll attack him anyway.
Okay. Taking your sword, you're no longer frightened of this guy. You stab down. 11 misses. So does 10.
Oh, for Christ's sake. Okay, I'm done.
He shifts out of the way, dodging both attacks. Draw off anything.
I'm going to walk over to the fire. Hold on a second. I'm going to. I think I have a torch in my bag.
Mm-hmm.
I have a torch in my bag. I'm gonna light it and throw it down.
Gotta throw it down the hole?
Throw it down the hall.
Okay. Are you gonna throw it in an attempt to throw it on top of the creature in it?
Yeah, I'm trying to light him on fire.
Okay. It's not gonna be a hard check, but go ahead and just make a. Let's just call it a dex check.
Not a
Say deck.
save.
Not a save, just straight up dex check. Treat it as an improvised dex weapon. Okay, good enough. You drop the torch, it kind of catches along the rotted leather and the hair, especially, and it begins to kind of light him on fire.
And that's it.
Okay. So, at the start of the creature's turn, because he is now on fire, he does not gain points back, and is going to start this turn by taking 3 points of fire damage, and is going to attempt to climb out of the hole yet again. Nope. All right. And the one that is next to you two did not take any fire or radiant damage, so he's going to regain some hit points. And he is going to make 2 punches into K. Miss. And miss.
Sweet.
K, you're up.
I'm gonna hit the one in the hole.
All right, go for it.
Edgar's the one in the hole.
Edgar is the one in the hole. 12 misses, 23 does not.
Die, damn you.
15 points of damage. He's still standing.
Oh
And
my
on fire.
god. I literally
you're up.
screamed that at the hole and die, damn you!
Okay. Oof, boy, I'm rolling like shit. That's it. You know what? No, I'll burn a bonus action and try to do that again. And do even worse. So I guess not.
The creature takes with one fist, just kind of blocks your warhammer, looks at you, and just shakes its head no.
Gotcha.
Okay. Treverin, you're up.
Seeing that Droloff has some type of kindred or connection to these two guys, I'm going to save myself a lot of hassle, and I'm going to go ahead and cast Mold Earth on this guy to drop him in the hole.
Okay.
So now they're both 5 feet deep to save myself burial trouble later.
Okay.
I can get rid of this one, since I can have 2 up.
Alrighty. They're both in the hole. Done for your turn?
Yep.
Alright. Julie, you're up.
You've essentially whack-a-mole the revenants.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing. I'm gonna whack-a-mole him again.
All right, 19 hits. 13 points. Still standing. Crit miss. You nearly drop your sword in the hole, but managed to catch it at the last second.
I am done.
Okay. Draw off anything.
Well, is he going to stay on fire if I don't drop another torch on?
It depends on whether or not he decides to stop, drop, and roll.
I don't think the hole's that big.
I don't think so either.
Why do you think he's trying to climb out of it?
Hmm.
I'd be more impressed if he got out of the hole with still enough fury to punch Julie with flaming fists.
Ah, serve the flame. Wait.
Move. Take another torch and drop it on the one below.
Okay. Just make another dex check for me.
There.
Okay. That lands on him, too. They're both on fire. All right. Because they're both on fire, they're not going to regain hit points. They're both going to take 2 points of fire damage at the start of each of their turns. Then they're both going to attempt to climb out of the hole. One next to Julie, one not next to Julie. All right, so one not next to Julie is going to climb out with fire still on his mech. And as he climbs out, he is... I'm going to say that was a bonus action to climb out. He's going to use his action to attempt to just pat out the fire on him. And he's done with that. Stop, drop, and roll, whatever. So he's out of the hole. He's no longer on fire. And that's their turn.
Bad
Okay,
news for him. I switched to my scythe, which has a 10-foot reach, and I'm gonna give him 2 thwacks.
Go for it. 12 misses. The crit certainly does not.
Oops, minus the +2. Or +3,
All right.
sorry.
All right. You cleave into him as he's kind of patting out the fire, and you watch the body just falls down.
Deal.
Singe, you're up.
Well, I intended to try to go around the side of him and push him back in the hole.
I mean, you can still do it. It's an easy burial.
But with that said, I will, if I can move through target, if I can move through Aber, I'm gonna come down here and try to hit that
Yep.
guy. Yeah.
Yep.
That's got a random question. Could he breathe fire down into the hole on top of that guy?
He could. He's not going to.
I was just curious if that ability worked like that for future references.
All right. You take your warhammer, you slam it down. It does hit,
Yeah, hold on.
and you, I believe, yeah, you're still adding the 3 radiant.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
It's a minute.
You blast him with radiant energy. He's looking pretty badly injured, but he's not quite out for the count just yet.
Okay.
All right, Trevor, you're up.
Okay, I'm just gonna move here and shove the body back down into the hole.
Okay.
And then mold earth.
You hear plash as it's going to be an action to push him in. You push him back into the hole.
Yep.
All right.
I'm
Is that your
good.
turn? All right.
Yep.
Julie, you're up.
I'm gonna play whack-a-mole again.
Okay. 12 misses. So does 11.
Okay.
All right.
They really
Go off.
they really rattled Julie.
Alrighty. Anything, Drelloff.
Just where I can go back to bed. Hold on.
Crit miss.
Hell no.
And that's your battle axe, not your great axe.
Oh shit.
I'm still going to count that crit miss. But all right, you take a second swing at the great axe. You cut down there. Go ahead and roll damage. All right. Having been blasted with having still be on fire, you take your great axe. You chop down into the dwarf, cutting into its head, and you watch as the fire kind of reaches into the body, and it just begins to kind of crackle and sizzle away. It is out. And then
The 8 other revenants show up and are like,
No.
"What did you do to us?"
no, the one you had down. No, but at the start of its turn, the one you threw back in the hole and that you downed earlier opens its red eyes again and attempts to climb back out. Stands up and attempts to climb back out. That was the save, not the check. All right, he's stuck in there. Yeah, you're
How many times do I have to teach you this lesson, old man?
right.
Well, I will cast Create Bonfire at the bottom of the hole.
You know what? He can't have it anywhere to dex save, so I'm going to say you just reach down your hand and you watch as fire just kind of lights up the hole like a Roman candle shooting out, kind of like Black Cauldron style with whatever flames you want inside to make it, and it just kind of shoots up out of the hole, and you smell just burnt body at the bottom. You're out of combat.
Oh my god.
So then I will cast Mold Earth over both of them to cover them up and give them a proper burial, and give my condolences to draw off, and then go back over to where I was sleeping and go back to sleep.
I hope that put out the fire, because I don't want cooked body underneath where we sleep.
That put out the fire under the 5 feet of earth you just dump onto him. Yes.
Okay. I don't know if it was like he just like covered the top of it, so it was just a burning fire and then a body on top of it, and just like a slight mound of dirt over the top of it.
Okay. So is there anything else you do during the course of this before you go back to bed? Anyone else?
Silently shake my head at Julie and just go back to sleep.
I will give a silent prayer that they find rest in the Shadowfell.
Okay.
I'll look at Julie and said, "Do you have any more friends out here we need to be aware of?"
Don't know. Killed lots of dwarves. Looks
I
at
said
Dre,
it all.
looks at Drayloff and just shrugs and goes, "Just saying." I don't know how these things work, and he points down at the buried whatever they were.
Okay. Darloff, any response? Anything else?
No.
Okay. You just glare at him, go back to bed. All right. So, in the interest of time, here's what I'll say. Give yourselves the benefits of a long rest as you continue the rest of the night uninhabited, and you eventually make your way to past pull that map again. You eventually make your way through the Calling Horns up the river, and you'll have to leave your steeds at the Calling Horns themselves because there is no road that leads into the High Forest itself. The High Forest itself is an old and ancient forest that is covered by old trees that have stood along Faerun since the dawn of creation, and you are in an especially old part of the forest. As you make your way along the Desarin River, you eventually come to first off, it gets considerably colder as you get closer and closer to the peaks. And at this point, Draloff, you know you have made your way to your ancestral home, the Lost Peaks. A pair of peaks that sits with this stream, this river flowing out of it, but out of between the two of them. Your home sits on the westernmost peak, and the tips of these peaks are covered with snow. And this time of year has begun to get especially chilly and frosty. While the tips of the peaks themselves are covered with snow, the edges of the forest and the forest floor are covered not with maybe some light flurries, if not outright snow. And you climb the rough mountainside by foot across the snow to the covered entrance into some ancient ruins. And we'll pick up on that next time,
Yay!
Sounds like a plan, Stan.
which is going to be I'll just drag over to the page. Oops. Eventually. Over here.
Okay.
Very simple hand-drawn map, but I got stuff.
Stuff. Things.
Right on.